The first hour of Sportstime is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, former Memphis Tiger Gabe Kuhn and Brett Stats Norsworthy.
Welcome in, midweek, Hump Day edition, Wednesday edition, October 5th edition of Sportstime on Sports56 with Gabe and with Stats. We're always live from the Family Leisure Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. All three of us in here and rolling Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. I am former Memphis Tiger Gabe Kuhn on Twitter at G_Kuhn71. Producing the program, Brian Dacus on Twitter at Brian_Dacus. Brian, hello.
Hey.
My partner does pre and post for the Ole Miss Football Radio Network. He's sitting right across from me. He is Brett Stats Norsworthy on Twitter at Brett Norsworthy. Brett, hello.
Gabe, how are you? Good afternoon. We've got a Wednesday night college football game and fresh off the press all the times for the weekend in baseball. Have you seen them, Bryant?
Oh, I can't wait.
Guess what we have Friday morning? And I even thought we might even get Central Time, a 10:45, 10:50 start. We didn't get that lucky. 11:07 Central Friday morning, Rays and Cleveland.
Shout out.
How great is that?
There we go. I am kind of confused by the Friday schedule as opposed to Saturday and Sunday.
11-1, 3 and 7 for Friday. Here it is, 11:07, Rays, Cleveland, in Cleveland. 1:07 in St. Louis, downtown St. Louis, Phillies versus Cardinals. 3:07 Friday afternoon, Mariners at Jays. Did y'all know the Mariners and Jays came into the American League the same year together?
Did not know that.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, now they meet in the playoffs. 7:07 Friday night, Padres at Mets.
There we go. And then Saturday, Sunday, though, and obviously Sunday to be determined, they changed the National League games to the late games. So it'll be 6:37 Padres at Mets. And then the late game, we sort of suspected this, 7:37 Central Time, Phillies at the Cardinals.
Saturday night will work in St. Louis for that. That works much better than in Friday night. Conceptually would have as well, other than a school night. But 7:37 for Phillies Cardinals on Saturday night.
Everything locked in, though. We're here.
There are times out for Sunday. If the Cardinals, if it's extended, it's 7:37 Sunday as well.
They'll get the late game, and it made sense. They're the only Central Time.
That's it.
Yeah, which is that's why Friday is confusing to me that they're the 1:07 start time. But I'm not gonna think too hard.
Long shadows, won't it be?
I guess so. But we're all locked in. How about that? We are here. Aaron Judge gets a 60-second too.
Everything's settled. Game's 162 today for everybody. Really, very meaningless.
Yeah.
I would think really quick games today.
What do you mean? What do you mean meaningless? Cardinals versus Pirates is Oviedo versus Liberatore. We got a Redbird matchup.
I've seen that at
Battle of
Third
the
and Union.
Prospects.
How about that?
Haven't we, Bryant?
Multiple times.
I never saw Oviedo get anybody out.
You saw Liberatore get a lot of
Oviedo
people
had
out,
some
though.
rough innings.
I saw Liberatore scuffle a lot of times.
Oh, more than you'd like
Oviedo's
to see
still
him.
young, though. He's very young,
Yeah.
isn't he?
I mean, he's like 26.
Okay, never mind. That's not very young.
He could not pitch in the strike zone without getting bopped.
And when he got pulled up, it was the same way.
Same way.
Apparently, he's been better, though, with the Pirates.
That changes.
Apparently, he's been better with the Pirates, but he's only been getting outings here late in the season when people stop caring.
Liberatore was key man in the Tommy Pham trade. Is that right? With the Rays a while back?
Yes, with
That's on y'all.
Rosarena.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Tommy Pham's
That rings a bell.
been with 9 teams since.
And he's slapped Jock Peterson in the face. So there's that.
Over fantasy football.
Yeah, over fantasy football.
A real story.
Actually, you know
Two
what?
adults.
I'm struggling in fantasy football. I get where people get frustrated. I understand, especially when that money's out there. Apparently, Mike Trout,
You're not
the
going
worst.
to slap another grown man over it,
No,
though.
no, I'm not. I really am not. I guess it depends how
Fancy
much money.
football.
You know, I hate to say it. I guess it depends how much money is on the table, and what rules are being broken.
Yeah. I don't think you would.
I don't think I would.
I
though.
don't think you
I
would
think it
for
would
him
take.
out.
I think it would take a whole lot for me to jump out of my
Big
character.
people
for that.
have greater restraint anyway, because once y'all get mad, then the whole house could be torn down.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point. Now, first off, our show brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. On the show today, we have some MLB. We're going to talk about that. Aaron Judge hit 62, and there's a man with a baseball out there that has one offer that I know of. Did you see the $2 million? And then that guy would sort of rent it out, lease it out to the
dust
Yankees.
coming out of the stands?
That was actually, people were trashing that move. Smart move. Because if that ball gets dropped, it's yours. Now, you might get tackled by security, and
Could be ejected, but you still got ball.
but you still got the ball. They're not going to take it out
Now
of
he's
your
just
hands,
got
are
a
you?
broken collarbone. No, I don't know that, but
Snapped an ankle on the way down.
face first out of the
Was it face? I thought it was feet
section.
first. I thought it was
Did
feet
he
first.
land on his feet?
I didn't see. There's
No,
a
he
wall
didn't
there.
see it.
There's a wall there. He could have rotated in the air, and I don't know. Gravity works in mysterious ways.
I don't agree with the Maris family and their angle in this, but look, they love their dad. They want to keep his light burning and his memory bright, and I just don't agree with his son's comments. The record is 73.
It is.
It is simple math.
And there's 5 more before you get to
That's
62.
right. The American League record, unarguably,
Is Aaron
now
Judge.
Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
Unarguably, in the cleanest testing era in the history of the sport, Aaron Judge has 63 in.
Right. I'm here. I'm with
But
you.
at a time
But-
where everybody was giving it as good as they were getting, and the bullpen catchers were roided up.
There were how many people were roided up that didn't hit 10 home runs
The
in
bat
those
boy
days?
was.
I mean, gosh, everybody was doing it. There were people in AAA that couldn't even think about getting into the majors that
And
were
if
doing
you
it.
weren't doing it, and there were plenty that wasn't, we kid about the number of people, and there were plenty that wasn't, you were still tarnished with that era, and everybody was suspect, including Albert Pujols, which may or may not be fair.
Well, he was Mitchell Report, and then they took him off immediately,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because he went after him. I mean, I don't know how you can't look at Albert Pujols and call him dirty by any stretch of the imagination.
Not with any proof, just innuendo.
And even the Mitchell Report ended up taking his name off that list.
It did.
So that, I mean, I don't know.
There was a lot of ball played after the Mitchell Report, too, with great penalty if you were in violation.
But your name being off of that sort of, I mean, to get pulled off that quickly as soon as you complain and tell them, hey, that's incorrect, it feels like that's a.
But this week, I mean, you always Chris
You're
Collinsworth
clean.
was saying the other day on SEC this morning that his American League coach was Roger Maris Jr. And I knew the Maris family after his retirement for baseball largely because Anheuser-Busch gave him the Anheuser-Busch distributorship for the Gainesville area. Nice gift, 1970, college town to get any distributorship. They later took it back from him in really dirty pool that the brewery played with a lot of distributorships, but that Roger Maris Jr. was Chris Collinsworth, American Legion baseball coach.
There you go.
Wow. I mean, you know, 6 degrees of separation.
Don't they call it a small world?
It is.
Yeah.
It gets smaller every day, doesn't it?
Yeah. Actually bigger. We have a population issue. There's a lot more people coming into the world, onto the earth these days. But no, it's
and that's one of the reasons. Every terrible hurricane will shatter the previous one's loss of property. The values will be bigger because no matter what, even at Fort Myers, even at Sanibel Island, they're all going to rebuild show places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's more development. We don't knock down a bunch of places.
I heard this from 1851 to 1860, the same number of Florida land-based hurricanes as from 2011 to 2020.
Interesting.
Same, but it wasn't impacting anybody.
Yeah, of course.
In the first tranche.
Also on the show today, college football. We have a big AAC matchup, SMU at UCF. We'll see how that goes. I kind of like that under, just on first look, 63.5, but we'll see. Also, we'll talk about Tigers versus Houston and preview college football week 6. We have NFL rumors and discussion with Thursday night football looming. Colts versus the Broncos. And already, obviously, Javonte Williams has been ruled out for the season with a torn ACL, but it looks like Jonathan Taylor's not going to be participating.
The Peyton
in Thursday
Manning
Night
Super
Football
Bowl,
either.
Colts and Broncos.
Yeah. The Peyton Super Bowl with the Broncos, respectfully to him, because he is one of the greatest we've ever seen. I mean, he didn't do all that much.
Handed off all day.
He just didn't.
Super Bowl 50. And that
His
was
back was shot. I get that. His
Arm.
neck was shot. His arm was shot. He couldn't do
Mobility.
much. And like the ball, I mean, he was throwing ducks at that point in his
Sure
career.
was.
It was
fluttering.
you had to be happy that he got it there, basically, at that point. But he won it. There's no question about it. Now, as far as guests are concerned, 3:30. Alex Kuhn joins us from KGYM Radio, Cedar Rapids. Also, WBBM News Radio from the Bears Radio Network. We'll talk to him about a whole lot of things that have to do with the Big Ten and the NFL. 4 o'clock, Barrett Jones joins us as he normally does. Our All-American from Bama, ECS. You know him. We'll talk to him about college football and the SEC as a whole. And also at 5 o'clock, we will cover a lot of things with Chris Gordy, Astros Radio Network, and also he's the Locked On SEC host. We saw him at SEC Media Days. We'll talk about the SEC. We'll also talk about what we're looking forward to seeing in the MLB playoffs. Listener line 901-360-8255. You can also watch us live and message us on our socials, Sports56 WHBQ, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and go to our website, Sports56WHBQ.com. Now, I have to start here because I was amazed by what I saw last night, and I know that NBA preseason and seeing G League Ignite is not necessarily the top of everybody's priority, but that game last night between the G League Ignite and the Metropolitans 92, those French pros with Scoot Henderson, who should be probably second overall in the 2023 NBA draft, and Victor Wembanyama, who is, I mean, number one right now, no question. That's what it seems like who everybody's tanking for. Scoot was awesome. Got to give credit where credit's due. I wish people would have warned me a little bit more ahead of time because Victor Wembanyama's getting all the hype for obvious reasons, but Scoot's sort of flying under the radar and
Scoot's legit.
In kind of a way. And he was fantastic. 28 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 turnovers. And that finish over Victor Wembanyama at the rim on a reverse, just unbelievable. But Wembanyama, though.
Being compared to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. 7-4.
The blocking, the defensive side of the ball is unreal. He's rebounding. He needs to get there. Only had 4 last night. But I don't know if you can't compare him to Kareem because offensively.
I saw one last night.
Offensively, I mean, he's a full prospect offensively. He can do whatever the hell he wants, whenever the hell he wants.
He is all-time leading scorer.
But he's shooting the 3 ball. He was 7 for 11 from 3. He's not really. I mean, he can get off the dribble and get to the rim. It's not the sky hook. It's not anything like that. It is. He had a transition 3 last night where he was trailing. They dump it off to him, and he just puts it up, and it's pure. It's beautiful.
Kareem patented the skyhook, but he was more than just that. Especially early, especially 70s Kareem. Kind of really Lou Alcindor. He was a jump shooter.
But to the point, obviously 3-point line, we get that. But to that point,
never that far out.
To
John Wooden would have had a stroke if he had shot from that far out.
That's the point I'm making. Victor Wembanyama, they want him shooting from there.
They do.
And I just it's scary to see the skill set he has. Honestly, it's terrifying.
We will see Tank Fest early and often.
Yes. Oh, yes.
You start tanking early.
Look at the Spurs. Look at what they've done this offseason.
I mean, you hit the tank button in October, November.
You want that first
No
pick.
Disguising it, right?
Honestly,
none at all.
Honestly, no. He's a franchise changing guy.
I'm glad the Grizzlies are not in that position. Yeah. I'm glad we don't have to do that. But somebody out there, you better make sure you get him if you have to go full 73 76ers and go 9-73.
So you have the lottery, so you're always going to have that chance. You can fall outside of that first pick. But again, I think we'll see that. We'll see that early. And the Spurs are not showing any inkling of, hey, we want to compete. They're not trying to compete.
If you don't get Wembanyama, can you live with Scoot?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but obviously Scoot's more dependent on, do you need a point guard? 6'3".
Oh, no, I don't care if you need a point guard or not. You take Scoot.
Yeah,
it's 1 and
I'm
2
with
and
you,
everybody else. Scoot is fantastic. He's been
fantastic.
No,
I
get locked in on the need.
No.
I get that, but if you have a guy that you at that point guard position, if your guards are good already and you feel like you need somebody else at that moment, I feel like it could be come into a conversation of need.
So they're not going to Kentucky
versus want.
No,
neither of them.
No, this is the first time in a while that maybe ever that the top 2 picks are going to be neither went to college.
You see, though, 37 points last night for that. Yeah,
watched all 37 of them. I couldn't take my eyes off of it.
I couldn't. And early in the game, he had a little bit of struggle, and Scoot was out showing him. That second half, it wasn't even fair.
Yeah, and he's still struggling with the biggest thing I saw was he's still struggling with getting used to American rules. FIBA rules a lot different. He had a couple goaltendings and stuff. They said that he talked to the rules official for at least 30 minutes before that game last night to try to figure out like what's different between FIBA rules and American rules. So it was
It had NBA Twitter, but it had sports Twitter lit up last night.
Oh yeah.
And I've seen sort of the Scoot Henderson people talking about John Morant too, alongside. Is that I don't know if I'd compare him to Ja exactly. There's parts of it in his game, the athleticism, getting to the rack, but I don't know if I'm quite there. Ja to Scoot. I think they're slightly different at the very least. But did you see Wembanyama's quote on Scoot? If I was never born, I think he would deserve the first spot. If I was never born, I think he'd. And people are asking, is that fair or foul? Fair or foul?
but
very fair. I think very fair. You have to have that confidence.
So he's going to be number one. This hour of our show brought to you every day by the one and only Lexus dealership in town. That is Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway. And online at lexusofmemphis.com. Give them a call for any service inquiry at 901-334-9673. Great offers on all 2022 models, 2023s rolling in, and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2022 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and that makes for the luxury driving experience. 901-334-9673, online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
And also, just sort of talking about what we were talking about with Victor Wembanyama, this is going to be, as we approach the NBA draft, one of the more hyped up picks since LeBron James. I mean, this is going to be unbelievable, the sweepstakes.
You dream of a title.
Yeah.
Getting.
Also, did you see I'm not going to say the name because the name is ridiculous. It is his name, though. Did you see one of the teammates on Metropolitan's 92? Did you see his last name? I don't want to repeat it.
I did not.
Okay. We'll talk about it at the break. I don't want to say it out loud. Johnny took the liberty of saying it several times. I don't find that necessary right now. I don't find that necessary. His first name was Steve, though.
There were some fun players on that team.
Yeah, they're a pro team.
Tremont Waters, Hugo Besson. Oh, that team's fun to watch.
They're professionals. I mean, they're good. They're solid. But top story for me, Aaron Judge hit 62, and it was caught by Corey Humans, whoever that is, the fan in the stands in left field. They asked Corey what he's going to do with the ball. He said, "Good question. I'd sell the highest bidder. That's what I'd do. Or I'd be nice enough to give it to the Yankees and let them display it or whatever it may be. But get your money. It's your ball." Aaron Judge said as much. I don't know where it's at, but we'll see what happens with that. I think it would be great to get back, but that's a souvenir for a fan. He earned that. He made a good catch. So I thought that was cool by Aaron Judge to say. But I think the other story, and we'll have to talk about this later when we talk about contract negotiations, when we're talking about 62 and him breaking the AL record, beating Maris, breaking the Yankees record. This was the ultimate bet on yourself year for Aaron Judge. Had to avoid arbitration, knows he's going to get this massive deal, denied 7 years, $213.5 million. That contract he's about to get because of what he's done this year is going to be astronomical. And I can't wait to see what that final number will be.
Not a new tax bracket, maybe out there by himself in one. My top story, everything all set on game 162 day today. Really not a lot around baseball to be very intrigued by. I think we'll have really fast games. You can imagine people going up there wailing at it, trying to get out of town. But Aaron Judge last night, he did it. Is he in the Yankees lineup today? Is he playing today?
No.
He's not. So he rests on game 162. Albert Pujols, he's done. Last night was it. His final season numbers ended up reading like this: 270 batting average, 24 home runs, and 68 RBI. Final career numbers will be 296, 703, and 2218 RBI. Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Getting to be able to watch that basically my entire childhood, and even now, that's lucky.
Every step along the way.
That's lucky. You know what's funny? Coming into this year, your numbers were what? 260, 20 home runs, around 60 RBIs, 75 RBIs. I thought that was ridiculous. I thought there was no chance.
He did it.
No chance. He got there.
Big stars always step up. They answer. They have one last great curtain call. Now we want him to have one more. in October.
Do we still think that it's showing up in L.A. that really galvanized him and got him going?
That's
Make him feel like a
superstar. I've heard.
Yeah. Interesting. It's interesting what happened.
He got
there was a switch.
Flowing.
There was a switch that came on for him. There's no question about it.
Not top story of the day.
Live Golf. Live Golf back in the news.
What have they done?
They created an alliance with the MENA Tour, so Middle East North Africa Tour. It's a feeder circuit that staged tournament in the Middle East and North Africa. It was out during COVID, but it's back. It was founded by the Dubai-based Sheikh Maktoum Golf Foundation. It was started in 2011. But the idea here for Live is they're trying to get official world golf ranking points. The MENA Tour statement with this alliance, they say the alliance will boost MENA Tour's development programs and immediately qualify Live Golf for official world golf ranking points, starting with the Live Golf Thailand event at Stonehill this week. So this is just another effort because Live Golf has been spurned by the official world golf ranking people a couple of times. They're trying to get official world golf ranking points. And I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't know if this is going to be a smart thing in the end of the day, but I do know that this tour that they're forming an alliance with is not very legitimate. It's just not.
How can you reward points if somebody plays 3 rounds as opposed to 4?
I was looking at the purses. There was a story about purses with the MENA Tour, and I don't know if it was full purse or first place winner only gets 75 grand USD. What is that? If this is your effort to get official world golf ranking points, it just sort of seems like you're.
I can't wait to Live crashes and burns.
It feels like they're doing everything they can to keep that from happening, but it looks like they're kind of a cry for help to align with a tour like this that's just not very legitimate.
My not top story: expanded baseball playoffs will start on Friday. And when they expanded, there were some teams and some cities that Major League Baseball wanted in there. No Angels, no Giants, neither team from Chicago, and the biggest miss, no Red Sox. Too funny. Big Mouse in Boston didn't make the playoffs and finished dead last in the AL East. How funny is that? Baltimore in front of them. 3 teams in the playoffs from that division. Maybe they need to wear their yellow uniforms more often in Boston. Maybe that was it.
Those things are terrible.
Just awful.
They're bad. And are they going to blow up this offseason too? Bogart's gone.
Don't they always? I mean, they're going to go out
halfway.
And spin big.
Halfway. But
the Cubs don't want to win and didn't. The Red Sox want to win and didn't.
They were terrible too. I mean, just miserably bad. I know a bunch of Red Sox fans thought they were going to turn it on. They didn't. They couldn't get it done. That'll do it for top and not top story of the day.
Brett Northworthy here for FanDuel, and start off the NFL week with a no-sweat same-game parlay from FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. It doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or already have an account. You'll get free bets back if your Thursday night same-game parlay doesn't hit. NFL same-game parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets at a bigger payday. Jonathan Taylor, anytime touchdown. Matt Ryan to throw a touchdown, to throw an interception. He's going to throw an interception. Or Russell Wilson over the passing yards. Or go with Russ to throw a touchdown pass. Build your own or choose from one of the popular SGPs pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play, you can bet the NFL on Thursday night with a no-sweat same-game parlay. Just sign up with promo code Sports56 if you don't already have an account. If you already have an account, you're set. Just sign in to see what you've got. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NFL. Again, that promo code Sports56. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee, 3+ legs minimum. $1 bet required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets. They expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet, $5. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
I got a kick out of this last night. It has to do with Aaron Judge hitting his 60-second homer. Did you see Tulane football? They were going to do their weekly uniform reveal, but then they said, but Aaron Judge hit a 60-second homer, so they were about to do the uniform reveal, and then the rest of the video is Aaron Judge hitting a bomb.
Way to go!
So I guess they're going to do their uniform reveal today. I guess
should be undefeated at Tulane, but for giving away that Southern Miss game.
Their wins versus losses make zero sense.
Love Willie Fritz.
Yeah, there's two coaches, and I think we talked with David Cobb about this. There's two coaches in the AAC that always have the sort of up and down, year to year, you don't know what you're going to get. Tulane with Willie Fritz and Tulsa with Philip Montgomery. It's just been sort of inconsistent, but their up is up. They do a good job when they're a winning ball club. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. When we come back, we bring on my brother, Alex Kuhn from KGYM Radio, Cedar Rapids.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
You know when I played football for the Memphis Tigers?
We all know you played for the Tigers.
We all love going to Central Barbecue after games. There were so many great choices to refuel after the game, ribs, pulled pork. Some of the weirdos would even get vegan options. And as team captain,
we all know you were a team captain.
I felt as leader I needed to encourage my teammates to get the best food possible, and that was Central Barbecue.
Or you just wanted to go there, so as a captain, you made them come with you to Central Barbecue.
They wanted to come to Central Barbecue.
Not as much as you wanted to go to Central Barbecue.
No one wants to go to Central Barbecue as much as me.
Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique, fun bet types like same-game parlay, and exclusive, always-on promotions such as enhanced odds boosts on the biggest events to let you get more action out of every game day. And if you win, they even get you your winnings safely in as little as 24 hours. If you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started and be sure to sign up with promo code CASH so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code CASH. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Buying a home? Then you've got a lot on your mind. Getting pre-approved, your credit score, closing costs, now rising rates? Phew, it's so much. But with Rocket, you get an advantage. You can lock your rate for 90 days while you search for a home. That's 3 months to shop for your dream home without worrying about rising rates because yours is totally safe. And it gets even better. Let's say rates drop within 3 years of your home purchase. You'll get exclusive savings from Rocket Mortgage when you refinance to a new lower rate. So what are you waiting for? Rocket has your back if rates rise in the short term and if they fall in a few years. So you can lock it and drop it with Rocket, your partner to help you buy today and be certain about tomorrow. That's the Rocket Advantage. Lock your rate now. Call 8337-ROCKET or go to therocketadvantage.com. That's 8337-ROCKET or go to therocketadvantage.com.
Must fund purchase rate between 7/19/2022 and 12/31/2022. Call 1-8337-ROCKET for coverage fees, terms, and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
I'm John Conway with Conway Services. Make sure your HVAC system is ready for the weather ahead by scheduling a $69 heating or cooling system tune-up with Conway Services today. Act now, and we'll give you a voucher for a free heating or cooling system tune-up to share with a friend or family member.
License number 64210, 64365, EAS MS 19668.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis.
What we are dealing with here is a perfect machine. It's really a miracle of evolution.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Rolling right along on Sports Time with Gabe and Stats. Listener line, you know where to find us, 901-360-8255. Joining us via the phone line is Alex Kuhn, at AlexKuhn523 from KGYM Radio in Cedar Rapids. Also does the studio production for the Bears on WBBM News Radio in Chicago. And we're related. Alex, what's happening?
Not a whole lot, Gabe. Who does Northwest have tomorrow night?
They have Mississippi Delta.
Okay.
And you know, it's one of those off weeks where it's not a very good team. They're 0-5. I think they've scored combined this year 27 total points. So
I was just asking because I figure the JUCO level is maybe a little more stable and a little more interesting right now than the Big Ten West.
It's not stable, is it? So what do you think about the Paul Chryst firing? I'm just going to ask that off top.
I was stunned, Alex. I just didn't think Wisconsin would go that type move.
I was stunned too. In the middle of the season, like you have a guy who has the third most wins in the history of the program, and at the same time, you look at the way that they've played, and you look at the way that they did play against Illinois last week, and they got just absolutely annihilated by Brett Bielema in Illinois, and 2 rushing yards.
That's so good.
It's like they've completely lost their identity, and the athletic director and Barry Alvarez and everybody involved in the decision making of the football program said enough is enough. We have got to do something to bring this team back into the 21st century. But the thing is, it wasn't just offense. Their defense hasn't been great this season, and it was very shocking. But my goodness, they have just been really, really bad to start this season, and it shows that like one of the most stable programs in all of college football that is consistently at 9-10 wins a season and has been for the last 5 coaches is now rolling into an era where the money is so large they don't care if they have to pay $10-11 million to buy out a coach.
I defended
They're
them
going to
forever.
do it in the middle of the year, this is where we're at.
Alex, I applauded them forever for not being SEC heat of the moment. If it doesn't work in 3 years, let's change coaches. And you know, the last one worked so well, let's change again. And they just wouldn't play into that. And now they could be starting down, having to change coaches more often than they ever dreamed of. Please tell me there's no thought to bringing Brett Bielema back, is it?
I think it's going to be Jim Leonard.
Yeah.
Like
that's part of the defensive trouble you referenced there.
True. They haven't been great this year, but he overall his tenure in Madison has been very good. And he took over for Justin Wilcox after Wilcox left for Cal, and ever since then there have just been these rumblings like, is he going to go to another school? Is he going to become a head coach? He's had head coach written all over him for a few years now, and I think Wisconsin, that's part of it. Wisconsin realizes that if they make this move now, they're not going to become in danger of losing Jim Leonard in this coaching cycle that's already lost five guys. And also, if it gives him a little bit of time, think back when I think it was when Bo Ryan left in the middle of the year and allowed Greg Gard to get an opportunity to basically get a rehearsal. Now, that's not what's happening here. Like, obviously, Paul Chryst didn't choose this. But to me, this looks like Wisconsin saying, okay, Jim, here's your shot. We've heard about how great of a coaching candidate you are, a head coaching candidate you are. Let's see what you can do. And, oh, by the way, if he's not successful, there's a certain coach at the University of Kansas by the name of Lance Leipold, who's a Wisconsin guy as well, from the state of Wisconsin, played and coached at Wisconsin Whitewater, and that would make sense as well. So I think that when we talk about firing coaches, a lot of schools where they go wrong is doing it, as you said, with just all emotion, just saying, "Oh, we're firing our coach," and not have a single plan as to where to go next. I don't necessarily agree with the decision here by Wisconsin, but I think they have a pretty strong plan of where they're going to go next.
It feels like the sane, and I say sane, version of the Kevin Steele Auburn situation that we saw play out before Harsin was hired. But it's the sane version where Jim Leonhard, I think, ultimately will be the next head coach at Wisconsin. Lance Leipold makes sense, though. I just sort of wonder, stylistically, what he's doing at Kansas. Would that carry over to Wisconsin, or would he sort of change it up? Well, we would have to see. Now, Big Ten West, who the hell's going to win it? I get like my favorites right now. I'd say Purdue or Minnesota. And Iowa, I guess, sort of there, but I don't trust them offensively as far as I could throw
all
them.
of them, 22-point underdogs, Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game.
Iowa is in a situation where they're both like on the edge of disaster and on the edge of contending for the Big Ten West at the same time. Like this is silly season in the Big Ten West. Who's going to win? I don't know. Who has the best team? Well, I thought it was Minnesota. And then I know they didn't have Mo Ibrahim last week, but Purdue popped up and said, you know what, guys? Yeah, we've lost some games here, but we're talented too. But they had this problem of prying defeat from the jaws of victory. And I just don't trust them as far as I can throw them. They're going to beat Iowa. They always do. Jeff Brom has Phil Parker and Kirk Ferentz's number. And the question becomes Minnesota. Their schedule gets a little bit easier here, but can they beat Iowa? Can Illinois and Iowa play this weekend in what I think is a must-win game for both teams? Iowa loses this game, they fall to 3-3 before a bye week, and who do they get out of the bye week? Ohio State and Columbus. So that's an ugly scenario if they lose to Illinois this weekend. For Illinois, they feel like, why can't we contend in the Big Ten West? Their one tough crossover game remaining is a trip to Ann Arbor to face Michigan. But it is bizarre to look at the Big Ten West and see Iowa struggling the way that they are, especially offensively. Wisconsin at 2-3, 0-2 in the Big Ten, and dead last in the Big Ten West, and without a coach. Nebraska without a coach, and Northwestern 1-4 with losses to Miami of Ohio and Southern Illinois. It is just an absolute mess in the Big Ten West.
The East is fine, though. I guess so. Michigan and Ohio State at the top. You saw Michigan up close last week. Do you buy the playoff aspirations that they're selling?
Are they better than they were last year?
I wouldn't say that they're better than they were last year. I'm not going to besmirch what they did on Saturday in Iowa City because
that's been tough in the past.
Yeah, they've lost games at Kinnick Stadium, and they did exactly what they needed to do against Iowa. They were patient offensively. J.J. McCarthy didn't make mistakes, and they ran the football. And Gabe, I don't know if you've gotten a chance to watch them, but their offensive line is a pleasure to watch.
Yeah.
They have one of the most dominant offensive lines in the country.
Sorry to cut you off. Brett asked me, We were talking about quarterbacks and how hard it is to replace quarterbacks, and the depth of quarterback rooms these days. And he asked me about offensive line. How many teams can really do that around the country? And that was one of the names I brought up is Michigan. They have good guys up front, and they have depth seemingly where they can get through some injuries as well as the season progresses.
Yeah, and that's huge. And not a lot of you look right now around the country and just how many programs have offensive line issues that are hamstringing them. And I mean, I don't mean to point in your backyard there at Memphis right now, and I don't mean to point in our backyard at Iowa, but it's crazy because you look at those programs, and Kirk Ferentz is an offensive line coach by trade. The offensive coordinator is Brian Ferentz, and he's a former offensive lineman and an offensive line coach, and their offensive line is struggling mightily. And you look at Memphis, Ryan Silverfield, offensive line coach, and that's kind of the issue of where things are lying right now, and it's not just that program. I feel like right now, offensive line play around the country, it had gone up a little bit, and now it's taken a little bit of
even Bama, Al, is having struggles with their interior offensive line.
Bama is Gabe, if you were to diagnose one thing that you could change about Texas A&M to make them a contender, would it be the offensive line?
That's the one. That's one. And also, I would like to change not offensive coordinator, but play calling.
Yeah.
Let's get that out of Jimbo's hand. But yes.
All right, I want to ask this question. I want to go to the Big 12. And I applaud what he's done, and I think it can continue. But are we going to love Lance Leipold as much as in 5 weeks, if he lost 5 in a row, as we do today? Because you look at that schedule, it can go from sugar to you-know-what pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's possible that can happen. I love what he's done. I think that, let's see, you look at the schedule, and if they can go 6-6, that's just them going 6-6.
Yep,
big win.
It is huge. It's huge for them. And the way that you look at this team and see them competing week in and week out with I've seen their schedule so far. They beat West Virginia, they beat Houston, they beat Duke, they beat Iowa State, and I agree with you. I think they're probably going to suffer their first loss this week against TCU. But there's another conference, Brett, that I just cannot figure out. The Big 12. Oklahoma looks lost right now, 0-2 in the Big 12. Team that has dominated that conference no matter how bad their defense has been. Oklahoma has had the talent to win the conference pretty much every single year, and they look pretty much out of it already after 2 weeks of the Big 12 season. But no, I think Lance Leipold is a hot name, and even if he were, say they go 7-5 or 6-6 or something like that, he's still going to be a very hot name in the coaching ranks.
Who the hell before the year, like truthfully, who had on their bingo card Kansas hosting TCU as a top 20 matchup in Week 6? Like, I want to know, I need to know who that person is and where they have their crystal ball hidden, because that's ridiculous. Now onto your other your other things that you do when it comes to the Bears and what they've done so far. 2-2, actually. Yeah. I don't know how to feel. I can't imagine that it's all that. Everybody's all that excited. Obviously, game one, they win in a monsoon.
Would take 2-2 after 4.
They beat the Texans. Lose the Giants on the road last week. How badly does Justin Fields need to get going just to show signs of life at the very least?
Need some help.
Yeah, see, this is the frustrating part of trying to analyze the Bears, because as what you guys both just said is so true. Like you're like, okay, well, Justin, this is your first real year of starting, but your second year of getting reps. Can you flash and show some ability and some improvement and show, okay, yeah, you don't have a lot of guys around you, but you can elevate the guys around you. Can you show that type of leap? And then at the same time, you look at this roster and you say that this roster is absolutely miserable. Like there is absolutely nobody for him to throw to. And it's like, and now you have Luke Getsy and Matt Eberflus seemingly holding him back a little bit. And now there's the concern that the confidence is rattled a little bit because
scary.
You see him routinely missing reads and like that, the quarterback boot or the bootleg where you have the tight end in the flat. He's having trouble making those easy throws, like pulling the trigger on those throws. And that's scary. That is super scary. But at the same time, this is the Bears. And they've never gotten the quarterback right, and they never can get organization, GM, head coach, quarterback all on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Like you think about the last top 5 quarterback or first-round quarterback that they drafted, it was Ryan Pace taking Mitchell Trubisky against the hopes of John Fox, who was the head coach at that time. Then they fired John Fox the next year. Mitchell Trubisky, who was already a developmental guy, gets a new head coach, and it's Matt Nagy, who didn't know how to run the football, didn't understand checkdowns, and it wasn't his guy in the first place. And it's just all chaotic. Now you look here and you see, okay, well, Ryan Pace drafted another quarterback and Matt Nagy was coaching him. Now Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy are both gone. Ryan Poles comes in, strips the entire roster down to the studs with a quarterback who is in his second year, and he's on now his second offensive coordinator. And it's just, it's dysfunction and it's frustrating, but this is what happens when you get drafted to an organization like this. You got to kind of rise above all of that, and I hope that Justin Fields can. But to be honest, the only thing that has looked good so far with the Bears has been the running game. The offensive line has blocked well in the running game. Khalil Herbert has looked good. Everything else, I mean, the offensive line as far as pass blocking has been really, really bad. The wide receiver core has looked terrible. The run defense has just been miserable. They gave up 260 yards rushing last week to the Giants. And the secondary is young with Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker, 2 second-round picks this year. And you want to see what those guys can do. But they've been exposed as well. So it's one of those situations where it's like, okay, this team's youthful, but like, is this turnaround as imminent as Bears fans are hoping? Not even close.
Yeah, you have to see signs of life from that quarterback if you want that franchise to succeed in the years to come. That's just how life works in the NFL. You have to have a quarterback to get you off the ground. And I have not seen that from Justin Fields yet, but he's got time. He is Alex Kuhn from KGYM Radio in Cedar Rapids, also from the Bears Radio Network, WBBM News Radio in Chicago. Alex, always appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you next week.
Thank you, Alex. Have a great weekend. Pull the Cardinals through.
How about that?
Oh, well, let's hope so.
Let's go.
Friday, right?
And by the way,
afternoon?
who's the home run king? Really quick, one word answer. Or who's the home run king?
Bob.
There we go.
Right.
Thank you. Good smart answer. Great smart answer.
73 is more than 62. Very good, Alex.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
We're good at math here.
That's it. We are. It's very basic math,
Yes.
but a lot of people are creating new math out of this.
They are.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, guys.
You got
Talk to you later.
Alex Kuhn with us every week, and it's a lot of fun. Either place, the new Collierville Commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the original in Germantown, you can have fun there. And at the Collierville Commissary, bring your group, any size group. Perfect for group meetings. If you want to have your Rotary Club event there, any service club like that, a Tigers group there, it's the perfect place to gather and have plenty of room to enjoy that Memphis-style barbecue. The ribs delicious, and it screams authentic Memphis style because it's the slow way. If you're craving an easier way to order, text commissary to 33733. Start with the nachos, invented at the Germantown Commissary in the early 80s. The tamales, the cheese plate, all those great appetizers, smoked chicken wings. Start with that and then dig into the ribs, the shoulder, chopped or pulled on a sandwich, on a plate, all the sides, deviled egg, slaw, beans, bread, and you can order it by the pound or a 6-pack or an 8-pack or a 12-pack, and coming really soon. I'm going to be telling you about the holiday bird, and with this cooler weather, I'm going to tell you right now about the Brunswick stew. It's delicious at either place, the new Collierville Commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the original in Germantown. Quite the challenge, but save room for dessert like the lemon icebox pie or the banana pudding, the pecan pie. 901-754-5540. You can order those whole pies if you'd like. 901-754-5540. Online at commissarybbq.com in Collierville and Germantown, those party areas, and we can get outside on that patio. Orders to go for catering, for tailgating, and coming soon, we'll be talking about the holiday bird. Either place, the new Collierville Commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the original in Germantown.
We'll be back to wrap up hour number 1 next.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark Spensdorf Realtors. I'm often called Shell Done because I sell homes and work with buyers and I get the job done. There are 7 keys to successfully selling your home quickly at a great price. First, call me. I do my research and advise you on preparation, presentation, and proper pricing that gets you the activity to get the best price. Follow my advice and it can happen. I did mention 7 keys to a successful sale, didn't I? Well, if you use the first key, calling or emailing me, you really don't need the next 6 keys. Remember, that's Sheldon Rosengarten at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. If you don't need me now, write it down for later or for a friend. That's Sheldon at 483-0546 at memphisrelocate.com. Do it now, and who knows, you may hear your home advertised here. Remember, as bad a golfer as I am, when selling homes, Shell Done gets it done.
Attention sports fans. Your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back for our 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers our members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite leagues, including NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. We've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest European slots, and our live dealers are waiting for you with the tables. You need a sportsbook with integrity, longevity, and you need to know you're gonna get paid. You need a sportsbook that offers everything, including live betting, MMA, golf, horses, esports, and all kinds of crazy bets. Call today at 1-800-79-BET-US. That's 1-800-79-BET-US, and they will walk you through setting up an account. Nobody in the industry gives better bonuses than BetUS. Join now. Mention BetUS 2022, and you can get up to 200% in bonuses on your first deposit. Nobody beats that. Head to BetUS.com and join today. That's BetUS, where the game begins.
How do you grow your business without spending more on credit card fees? Call Blake Jones, your local Mid-South Advanced Merchant Services representative. He works with your business to help it grow instantly. Small business owners already have enough cost. Let Blake Jones help you lower your credit card processing cost risk-free. Absolutely no cost to you, the small business owner. Call 662-416-5262. That's 662-416-5262. Call Blake Jones today and start saving money tomorrow.
Tiger Nation, come out to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium Friday, October 7th as your 4-1 Memphis Tigers take on conference rival Houston. Tickets start at just $20 and kickoff is at 6:30. Bring the whole family and watch 901's football team. Tailgate on the revamped Tiger Lane. Cheer the team into the stadium during the Tiger Walk and help your Tigers stay undefeated at home. Start your weekend off right with Memphis Tiger football. Go Tigers, go.
Guns and Ammo has a full line of Pro Shot products, a tremendous selection of accessories from belts, holsters, gun cases, specialty boxes, Benchmade knives, and assorted optics. At Guns and Ammo, enjoy selecting all your favorite firearms, from hunting supplies to target shooting to self-defense. Experience the excellence at Guns and Ammo with a friendly, knowledgeable staff and hundreds of guns to choose from. Guns and Ammo, 3615 Summer Avenue, Memphis local, and supporting the NRA and Friends of the NRA. Guns and Ammo, family owned since 1985.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis.
Open the door, sit in the seat, turn the key, and go.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brent Norsworthy.
Back rolling Sports Time with Gabe and Stats. I'm Gabe, he's Stats. Did you see Cole Beasley retired today? How about that?
What will we remember him by?
COVID and his rap.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Good little slot guy.
Good
player.
He really was pretty good.
End
of the day. And I know the COVID stuff and everything is sort of
kind of
putting a weird black mark on his
Julian
name.
Edelman.
Not even that poor, honestly. Not even that poor of a man's Julian Edelman. Like, he had game. Did good with Josh Allen. Did good in Dallas.
Oh, yeah, big soft spot in my heart.
I mean, he
the most
sneaky good 11-year career.
Oh,
the most famous number 10 in Dallas before Cooper Rush.
That's a good point.
All right, as we get halfway through this week, I know where you need to go this weekend. There's no place in Memphis I'd rather go to for a night out with friends or a bite to eat than Bell Tavern. It's open 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday, 2 to 8 p.m. on Sunday. You know about 117 Prime on Union. All you do is you walk through the dining room, you access the best bar in Memphis. That simple. Walk through 117 Prime, and you will get to Bell Tavern. It's the perfect place to start your night with a gourmet bite to eat, burgers, sandwiches, and starters, and end your night with the coldest beer in town and craft cocktails that you can only find in Barbaro Alley, tucked in between 2nd and Main. For information daily, 2 ways to get that info. 901-249-6580. Again, that's 901-249-6580. Or go to their website. Simple. BellTavern.com. That's BELLE Tavern.com. It is Bell Tavern. Hour number 2 on the way. You know who we started with. Bear Jones is next.
I'm Brian Elder. It's been a particularly rainy season, and that stain on your ceiling isn't getting any smaller, exposing your family to the possibility of mold. Let me come take a look. 867-0303. Our technicians are Owens Corning Platinum Preferred, so don't let someone tell you that it has to be replaced if all you need is a repair to get several more years of life. 867-0303. Have me on your speed dial for when life's little catastrophes come up. 867-0303. Upgrade your roof to a beautiful Owens Corning Duration Architectural Shingle with a 50-year warranty and an unheard of 25-year labor guarantee. I'll measure your roof from outer space and give you a competitive estimate right over the phone. Buy now and pay nothing till 2022 with approved credit. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Hey, what QC Kinetics is doing for people here is terrific. Nothing short of amazing. I'm talking real lasting relief from joint pain. Hey, it's Greg Gaston. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting new pain treatments with advanced regenerative medicine, non-surgical alternatives. If you're living with joint pain from injury or arthritis, don't let them tell you steroids and pain meds and surgery are your only options. QC Kinetics uses regenerative treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue. All right, maybe you've been diagnosed with bone-on-bone arthritis and have been told you need a replacement. Call QC Kinetics now for an alternative way to deal with the pain. These amazing protocols work with pain caused by injury as well, like a torn meniscus or rotator cuff. Call QC Kinetics now. Don't delay. Don't keep living with that pain. Learn how regenerative medicine can give you your life back with no drugs and no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 901-445-1010. That's 901-445-1010. QC Kinetics. 901-445-1010.
Tiger Nation, come out to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium Friday, October 7th as your 4-1 Memphis Tigers take on conference rival Houston. Tickets start at just $20 and kickoff is at 6:30. Bring the whole family and watch 901's football team. Tailgate on the revamped Tiger Lane. Cheer the team into the stadium during the Tiger Walk and help your Tigers stay undefeated at home. Start your weekend off right with Memphis Tiger football. Go Tigers, go.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
Touchdown! You owe me $5.
We mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
Dad, come on, you're going to fall in the barbecue.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Back in hour 2 of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Gabe and Stats is here. We're all in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. I'm Gabe. He is Stats. And producing the program is Bryant Dacus. Joining us via the phone line, though, right now is All-American from Alabama, went to ECS, graduated from ECS, Memphis guy. He is Barrett Jones, at Barrett A. Jones on Twitter. Barrett, how are you?
What's up, Gabe? How we doing, man?
Doing well.
Doing good, Barrett. Doing good. Barrett, I want to start with the Bama way, and I saw something Saturday. I bet you saw it, and Alabama doesn't do this, and they don't play like this. Late in the game, Henry To'o, did you see him push the Arkansas player from behind and get the unsportsmanlike conduct?
Yeah, that was weird. That was very weird. I'm still kind of scratching my head at that.
Me too, Barrett. Bama doesn't do that, and I bet he got reminded of that.
There's no doubt. That was, it was you look at the score of that game and you think, well, that was a cakewalk. But, man, when it was 28-23 and it was 3rd and 13 and Arkansas had all the momentum after a bad punt and onside kick, there were some scary moments there. So
it was.
I guess you got to give Alabama credit in some ways that hey, they overcame adversity and in a tough spot and were able to put the hammer down and have 3 unbelievable explosive plays there that led to a convincing victory. But it was definitely a little too close for comfort. And Bryce Young needs to get that AC joint well pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's been very bizarre, though. Jalen Moreau, I like his athleticism, but he needs to learn how to sit back there, get through his progressions, and throw the football. I'm sure they'll get to that at some point. And it takes reps, and it takes being out there and under the lights. But the run game got going for really and I'm not going to say the first time because they've had some decent games running the ball. I thought they abandoned it way too quick against Texas. But against that Arkansas team, it looked like they really decided to put it on themselves to go make that happen on the ground game.
Yeah, I thought it was the best game that offensive line has played. I think that offensive line is getting a lot better week by week. They're gaining confidence. I think there's 5 solid players there up front, and so I think that group will be pretty good by the end of the year. The group that I'm still a little concerned about, and it's a group I've been talking about all year, is the wide receiver group. Yep. I still just think there's not a person who stepped up, and not only that, but I thought that they not only didn't help, but they hurt, in that game. There was just some bad drops and some miscommunications. I thought it was a sloppy game from that group, and I've been a little disappointed that there hasn't been a guy or two that have stepped up to sort of fill that role. There's been different guys at times, but there hasn't been a consistent performer or go-to guy in that group.
And it's bizarre, too, because Jahmyr Gibbs really, I don't know if he's their leading receiver, but he's top 3, top 4 type guy in getting out of the backfield. They split him out every once in a while. He's been really one of their best playmakers in the pass game.
Well, there's no doubt. He's been a playmaker all over the field. He's been unbelievable. So, yeah, I think he's their best playmaker on offense, and that's something they've been a little short on this year, which is not typically something you say about the Alabama offenses of late.
Barrett, how wide open do you really think the West is? Is it really Bama's? It's still Bama's to lose, but will they do it just easy as it has appeared they've done it in the past? And the same for Georgia. Gabe and I on Monday we were talking, of the near misses: Bama at Texas, Georgia at Mizzou. Georgia at Mizzou was much uglier than Bama at Texas.
Yep. Is Gabe finally ready to give up on the?
Yes, I gave up. I gave up. It's over. It's over.
We had the concession speech Monday.
Yeah. I wore black on Monday. I wore my I said goodbye to it.
No, I tried to warn you about that, Gabe, but
you did.
You were a prisoner of the moment. So
to be fair,
that's what radio's about sometimes, isn't it? So,
it is. Heat of the day.
That's right. I think you're right. The West is weird this year. Like I think they're legitimately every team, definitely other than Alabama. Maybe you could convince me of one of the other teams, but like any team could get last or any team could get second. Really, to me, I do think it's Bama's to win, but past that, like there's going to be a lot of parity in that 2 through 7. Like I think Auburn's kind of bad, but man, they almost beat LSU, and LSU is not that good either. But any of those teams could beat any of them. Like LSU beat State already, then State beat A&M. There's going to be some cannibalism in that 2 through 7 in the West, my opinion. I think it'll be there could be some good teams that their records probably don't reflect it at the end of the year because all those teams are pretty solid this year. Again, maybe with the exception of Auburn perhaps and LSU, but all those teams are pretty solid and really could, I think any of them could beat the other one.
And I know for obvious reasons, for other reasons, you may be turned off of A&M. But as for them as a team this year, are you fully turned away from them, or is there a slight glimmer of hope? What do you think about A&M?
It's a weird team, man. I don't know. It's more than just like I watched that App State game, and that was not a fluke game. That wasn't some weird game. Like App State was running like power on 3rd and 4. Just kind of like right at him and punch him in the mouth. And this is a team that's recruited really well for the last 3 years, and I don't get it. They're there's some uninspired football going on right now in College Station. I hope it continues this weekend because I'll be at the game as an honorary captain. And so
good deal.
I hope
awesome.
They continue to play uninspired, but I suspect they'll come out, ready to roll against Alabama.
Barrett, this weekend, are they celebrating the 2012 National Championship team 10-year anniversary?
I hope so. I'll be there. So I'm hoping that, they told me they were. We'll see.
Man, y'all got anniversaries every weekend down there, though, don't you?
There's a lot of anniversaries.
There's a lot of anniversaries because it's been a whole lot of winning. With that, Barrett, I know Coach Saban and that coaching staff, and I know those fans desperately want another one. I wonder if all these players, all these 5-stars from all over the country with a lot of NIL and a lot of different influences, I wonder if they want it like y'all did, like you and Mike Johnson and Vallejos and Greg, and I could go on and on. I wonder if they want it as much as y'all did. I know the fans do, and I know the coaches do.
Well, I don't know if the fans do either. Let's be honest. Come on. The fans definitely aren't as hungry as they once were. Now when they win national championships, they're kind of just like, "Yay, all right, good job, guys." Because it's obviously old hat now. But no, all kidding aside, college football is changing a lot. There's no doubt about it. And unfortunately, the emphasis on winning everywhere has changed. And not that people don't care, because they do care. They want to win. But I don't think it's the most important thing. I think for most kids in today's football, playing the NFL was the most important thing, at least at the high level of these guys. And that's their number one priority as far as what they want to do. And I understand, even though I don't like it, I get it. And so it's definitely changed a lot. And there's a whole different methodology. Not that guys don't care. Again, I'm not saying that. But there's certainly a different mindset from today's recruit that there was even 10 years ago.
Yeah, and there's that passing through on their way to the NFL quality to it, but that's also a positive for the program when Coach Saban and that number of players he's coached since his second year, since he got it rolling in 2008, $1.4 billion in NFL contracts paid out.
That's a big number. You're right, and that certainly
That's
helps.
a hedge fund, Barrett.
I can assure you that's a number that they probably tout a lot to recruits, and so probably a big reason why they continue to recruit at a really high level, because guys do care so much about that, and they understand that Coach Saban does a great job of getting ready. I think this is, it's too early to say this officially, but people I think have gotten so spoiled with Coach Saban that it's not just about getting the 5 stars. And Jimbo Fisher might need to hear this, but you got to develop that talent, and I think he's done such a great job of developing. Like, I wish there was some stat I had on the amount of 5 stars that he's turned into first-round draft picks, because there's a high number. It's got to be higher, than average as far as the coaches that get those guys. He does such a great job of developing talent and obviously sending those guys to the next level. So there's more to it than just getting the good recruits. You also got to develop them and make them into great players and form those great players into a good team. And that's a lot easier, a lot harder than people give them credit for.
So, Barrett, last Saturday at the Ole Miss game, at the Ole Miss-Kentucky game, I see Phil Savage, who's now with the New York Jets. He told me to tell you hello. And we were having kind of this same conversation about hunger and winning at the capstone. How much does it mean to people? And he said, Brett, you never not start this sermonette without mentioning Barrett, Mike Johnson, and Nico Johnson. He goes, man, you carry the flag for those 3. But I do, because I saw y'all pay the price. And I always mention Mike Johnson because he was one of those players that was there in the really lean times under Mike Shula.
No doubt. And it'll be Mike Johnson will be there, but it'll be fun to see some of those guys this weekend who were part of that. And it'll be good to reunite with some of those guys, because it was a special group of guys who were there. And, I'm very biased, but to me the turnaround was the most fun part, getting to see a team start to believe and understand what they can become, and then obviously see it come to fruition 3 different times. That was a blast.
You started the dynasty. That's where it was born.
Well, it's where it's I don't know if we knew we were doing all that, but it worked out pretty good.
How do you expect the Bama faithful to be this weekend? How rabid, and do you think it'll get chippy, the game in general, guys on the field?
I don't think so. I always think that a lot of the, just from experience, a lot of the stuff that happens in the media in general is pretty overblown. I know obviously guys want to win. They know what happened last year, but I think guys want to win even more than last year. Probably just the comments that Jimbo made this offseason, I thought that were just completely bizarre and out of line about Coach Saban. I think that probably certainly had an effect on him. But I also think when the game starts, guys are usually pretty locked in. And so I think that I always say that maybe where that stuff matters to me is the preparation piece. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that this week in practice, guys will be flying around, they'll be locked in and on point for the way they're preparing, and usually that helps you play better.
Did you think the off-season comments from Coach Saban, it was a fair, foul? Like, what did you make of the whole saga back and forth?
Completely fair. I don't even understand why it was a big deal. I mean, it's just like everyone knows they pay for that class, and it's fine. I mean, it's not even really breaking the rules.
Legal.
I mean, like he was just pointing out something that every person in college football knew.
Right.
He wasn't even like complaining about it. He was just saying, "Hey guys, they bought their class." Like, I think he was actually kind of saying, like, "Hey, donors, we need to buy our class next year."
Exactly. He was saying we need money.
That's the way I heard it.
Me too, Barry.
So I don't really know. I mean, why he took it so personal. It made him look weak and just sensitive to me. So
Barrett,
I don't know.
I thought guilty and he wasn't.
I thought Jimbo could have come out looking polished if he would have just leaned into it and said, "Yeah, we're doing what's within our right to do."
There ain't a polished bone in his body. I mean, he can't.
I mean, like, also, if you're like, "Yeah, come on, recruits, we pay well." Like, I mean, basically that would have been to me a better message than what he said, and actually like he was insulting the players. I mean, it just. I thought it was I can't believe some of the things he said. I really can't. It was shocking.
How much does Georgia miss Matt Luke in the offensive line play?
Yeah, definitely. Their offensive line's not played as well. They've struggled the last couple of weeks, so that could be one of the reasons. I mean, obviously they've had some good players roll through there. That probably is a reason as well. But they haven't looked the same. And I thought Georgia was by far the most dominant team the past couple of weeks, but they've been a different team ever since Gabe started tooting that horn
it was me.
of
It's my fault.
Heisman contender. They've been snake bitten by Gabe.
Yes. You know what? Hey, but they're winning games. There's something to be said about that, though. I mean, how many times in your college career where the target's on your back, you have to go win games, and everybody's going to give you that tough shot?
I mean, Mizzou's not good. Let's be honest. The team has lost to Auburn.
I mean, I get it.
I mean,
they should have beat Auburn. They fumbled out of the back of the end zone.
I thought Mizzou was going to pull that off, Barrett, and that would have been earthquake for college football. What offense, and maybe even what offensive line are you watching out there that really impresses you, that stands out when you're watching? They're doing a lot of good things.
Well, I have no idea. I really don't. I would love to make something up, but I'm not that smart. And offensive line play in general has not been as good the last couple of years, I think, as it once was. And there's a lot of reasons for that, I think. But there's not anyone particular this year that jumps off the screen to me at this point. Maybe by the end of the year I'll find somebody. I thought Michigan did some good things last year until they came up against an SEC defense in the semis, and then all of a sudden they looked pretty normal. But there was some good groups out there, but I haven't seen a group this year that's just been shocking. That doesn't mean they're not out there. I'm just saying I haven't seen them.
Is it a stylistic thing, you think? And I was talking about this with some buddies the other day, and obviously I train young O linemen. But you think it's harder because of the style of football that's being played in high school? A lot more 7-on-7 emphasis, throwing the ball, that type of thing. The development on the offensive line, I've noticed a lot. And I've noticed a lot. It's not taught as much at the high school level. The expectations you're going to have in college, you have to go find those elsewhere. A third party, a performance center. You have to go learn that elsewhere, and you're not usually getting that unless you have a good program at the high school level.
That's certainly part of it. There's no doubt. I don't know every single thing that goes into it, but I think that's part of it. I think those are all good thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Now also, we look at the West. What do you think about the Mississippi team so far? Ole Miss, Mississippi State. State, of course, lost that nasty fourth quarter, really the fourth quarter against LSU. Besides that, they'd be unblemished. And Ole Miss at 5-0 right now, getting that massive win against Kentucky.
You sound like every State fan I've talked to, and they're like, we should have beaten LSU. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't.
You didn't.
Yep. I mean, the fourth quarter. I don't know if you know, Gabe, it's a pretty important quarter.
I'm with you. I'm not denying that.
The most important one. So, just saying there, everybody's like, I've heard several State fans. Like, I mean, they think they should be the second best team in the SEC West. But anyway, I think that Ole Miss's defense is playing a lot better than they have been, and they're doing enough things on offense. So, I think Ole Miss is a really good team. And if you have made me pick right now, who I think the second best team in the West is, I would pick Ole Miss. I think that Mississippi State is a tough team for anybody, but they're just always going to be inconsistent with that kind of offense. And some teams play against that a lot better than others. So, I don't know. I think again, I really like if you take the jerseys off of 2 through 7 in the West, like they're all have good players, some good, could win some games, could lose most of the games they play. I really feel that way. I feel like there's just going to be a lot of parity there in 2 through 7 in the West as the season rolls on.
But that pesky fourth quarter for Mississippi State, I'll tell you what.
Pesky
fourth quarter.
And
it could have stopped the game. If there had been a lightning delay, it would have been good.
That's right, Barrett.
If you played 3 quarters, you win that game.
And nobody holds up 1 for first quarter or 2 for second quarter. Everybody holds it up 4 for fourth quarter.
Or the fist. They do the fist now these days.
And you got to play it all the way out. Barrett, have a great time this weekend. I can't wait to hear all the people you see. I bet there's a lot that you hadn't laid eyes on since those days, and I know that'll be fun. And then that game and that atmosphere Saturday night.
Yeah, it'll be good.
BDS will be right.
No, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. It's going to be just an absolute blast, and I'll be fired up, and I will be very unbiased. Very biased. So if you're looking for any unbiased opinions, don't ask me.
Rock on.
We want it from you.
Have a good one, Barrett.
Thank you, Barrett.
Have a good weekend.
Guys.
You got it.
He is Barrett Jones, All-American from Alabama, from ECS. That pesky fourth quarter. I'll tell you what. Mississippi State, but the teams in Mississippi, though, like sidebar, have really shown up to play. And I knew Mississippi State, Zach Arnett and Will Rogers in year a million is what it feels like, but it's year 3. You knew that they'd step in the right direction. But this Ole Miss team, you heard my expectation going into the year. They have, I think, in a lot of ways, already surpassed what I thought that they would be, beating that Kentucky team this past weekend.
So far, I was off to the 5-0 start. I was off to the 7-0 start. So I really hadn't gotten one from that other column yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not ready to give away any of those. I'm not ready to say, I want to turn a loss at Baton Rouge into a win, even at College Station. Now, I'm almost to the point, give me one of those back. Just get a split there, and then the split with Bama and Arkansas. Not going to take that Bama loss away just yet against Ole Miss. But it's moving in that direction. A little bit like last year did.
Mm-hmm. But at Baton Rouge, at College Station, in a row tough, and then you have Bama. I sort of wonder how they're going to weather that 3-game storm. Because Arkansas, by the end of the year, I know at Arkansas is going to be tough, and then Mississippi State.
Open questions now about KJ Jefferson not being able to go not only this weekend, but maybe a checkout factor overall.
KJ? Really?
Not.
But do you agree with Ole Miss wise? 3-game stretch at LSU, at A&M, Bama tells you sort of you are who you are.
That's the season.
Yeah, that's the one because Kentucky is, and we knew that this would be the discussion coming out
KJ
of it.
Jefferson and a engaged KJ Jefferson. I still say Arkansas is the favorite in Fayetteville against Ole Miss. Yeah. But by that point, next to what last week of the year, for a lot of teams, what are the motivations?
Well, how much of a checkout factor are we talking for KJ Jefferson? Like, because I don't quite understand that really. If he's going to be checked out completely, and I guess you're talking NFL draft potentially, and he's not.
I turned on the Little Rock Talk show last night, and it was brutal on him. The questions around him.
Why? What
3-2.
What's it? But he hasn't done a dang thing wrong. Besides, the fumble at A&M. That's tough. But
he's getting a lot of it for that.
Damn. I don't think a lot of people thought that they were going to actually go beat Bama. Maybe people in Arkansas.
I don't know anybody seriously thought they were going to do that.
So
I had them
4-1. The loss against A&M stinks.
That's the one.
But at the same time, you feel bad that you lost that game. But at the end of the day, you show up on a Sunday and you're talking and discussing, or a Monday and you're talking and discussing that game. You know that you were the better team out there. You outgained them. You did everything defensively to hold them down. The sky is not falling because of 2 losses to A&M and Bama.
But 2 more it would be.
Yes, it would.
At Provo.
I think there's potential there. But and I understand where they come from at this point. Where they came from with Chad Morris is not at the front of their minds. But that's sort of from a reference perspective, that's where I go. I hate to say it. And I know that's the expectations were substantially higher, right? But that's always where my mind goes.
It's what a friend of mine that hosts on Sunday morning said. He said he was so tired of hearing Saturday in the stands at Fayetteville, I've had enough. I can't take this anymore. What? And he said, no. I've had enough and I can't take this anymore was for Chad and for Bert, not for Sam Pittman. He deserves a lot more patience than this.
Yes, he does.
It's no I've had enough of him.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I don't think they're going to just crap out down the stretch of their schedule. I think they can fare relatively fine. They have home games against LSU and Ole Miss. That's going to help them. They have a game at Auburn. I think they can win that game at Auburn. Alabama and Mississippi State are going to be tough. I mean Mississippi State and BYU are going to be tough, but there's wins out there for them.
What are the slam dunks, though?
Auburn and Mizzou to me.
Slam dunk after you got that scared by Missouri State?
I still think Auburn and Mizzou.
On the road at Auburn, on the road at Columbia. Georgia just struggled at Columbia. You know all this, though, don't you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I still think this is slam dunk. I mean, Auburn's not good. I don't know if they can keep up with Arkansas in the trenches. Now it depends on how Arkansas is feeling, being where they're at right now.
For Arkansas to win 8, I think they have to run Rocket Sanders and K.J. Jefferson almost every down. And physically, can K.J. Jefferson hold up to that? Who could?
Truthfully, though, the people you're hearing from, when they say checkout factor for K.J. Jefferson, what exactly are they talking about?
Where he is emotionally, and knows draft stock is plummeted. He's not going to get drafted. Do you think?
I think he could be a day 3 guy.
You do?
Yeah, maybe. No, but he's not going to be. I mean, he's a big physical guy. I think dudes like that get opportunities. But no, I don't think he'll be like a. I don't think he was ever going to be a day 2 or day 1 guy. Let's be honest.
Every coaching staff in the country is constantly recruiting and trying to keep everybody happy on these rosters for every staff.
I understand that, but it's a bizarre conversation to have 5 games in.
Never thought we would. I never thought I would hear that tenor and tone that I've heard the last 2 nights.
Yeah. I guess it's a different day. I understand that, but 5 games
it
in,
is in a
questioning
lot of ways,
if the quarterback's going to play hard.
Mm-hmm. And they just have nothing behind him.
Yeah. We'll see what they look like deep into the season, but I can't imagine they'll just completely embarrass themselves. I think there's 6-7 wins out there for them. That loss against A&M stings, though. I can't lie. Having that one would have been substantial to where they place themselves for the rest of the year.
I don't think the A&M game cost them the Bama game. I think they were going to lose the Bama game exclusive of that. But the doubt it planted in fandom and in the locker room, it was a crushing loss.
It's been bad, honestly.
It has been.
It really is. The tenor.
And not only
around the program.
Not only against anybody, but against him, against Jimbo. That makes it worse.
Yeah, it does. It does. Let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk about some college football. We have a game tonight in the AAC, and we'll talk about what this week is going to look like. Some of the big matchups will be previewed right here on Sportstime with Gabe and Stats.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Acura of Memphis invites you to experience the all-new, completely redesigned 2022 Acura MDX. It's the most advanced SUV Acura has ever built. Experience the convenience of full connectivity, including built-in Alexa, Wi-Fi hotspot, and wireless charging, from the stunning interior, complete with third-row seating. Stop by our state-of-the-art facility and take advantage of our aggressive APR offers today at Ridgeway and 385. Or shop online from the convenience of home now. Visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Five Ash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
You need concrete coatings, materials, and supplies in Memphis fast, and you get this answer? Oh yeah, we got that stuff, I think, but it's in Wisconsin, so you're going to have to wait a few days for delivery. Why wait? Get your concrete coating and supplies now at TSS Supply. Everything that you need for coating concrete at TSS Supply, 5665 East Rains Road. And you're not dealing with just any supply store. TSS Supply specializes only in concrete coatings, materials, and supplies, all in one place. Most products are delivered same day or within 24 hours. Looking for a particular item, you need large quantities, or just have general questions? Call them at 901-729-0565, 729-0565, or you can email your question to Brad at tsssupply.com. All month in October, TSS Supply is celebrating its grand opening with 10% off your first order. TSS Supply, 5665 East Rains Road.
Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique fun bet types like same-game parlay, and exclusive always-on promotions such as enhanced odds boost on the biggest events to let you get more action out of every game. And if you win, they even get you your winnings safely in as little as 24 hours. If you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started and be sure to sign up with the promo code HAPPY so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code HAPPY. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789.
You know when I played football for the Memphis Tigers?
We all know you played for the Tigers.
We all love going to Central Barbecue after games. There were so many great choices to refuel after the game, ribs, pulled pork. Some of the weirdos would even get vegan options. And as team captain...
We all know you were a team captain.
I felt as leader I needed to encourage my teammates to get the best food possible, and that was Central Barbecue.
Or you just wanted to go there, so as a captain, you made them come with you to Central Barbecue.
They wanted to come to Central Barbecue.
Not as much as you wanted to go to Central Barbecue.
No one wants to go to Central Barbecue as much as me.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
How do you want that cooked? Run to a crisp or bloody as hell?
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Back in Sports Time with Gabe and Stats. Hit us up. Listener lines there for you. 901-360-8255. Also, watch us live. See our bright, smiling faces on our social, Sports56 WHBQ, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And also, I always point you in this direction. We talk with our Tiger a week on Monday. They're obviously playing against Houston on Friday. We had Jacob Likes this week. All of those interviews weekly are on our featured audio, Sports56WHBQ.com. We have one game tonight, the rescheduled game, 2-2 SMU versus 3-1 UCF. This is huge for the AAC. This is a massive game, and I think for the Tigers' schedule, the way it breaks out, you see a lot about what you need to know. You need to see this game to know what to expect down the stretch of the season.
First AAC game for both of these teams. Had to wait a while to get it in, and I'm glad they are, and quite the contrast with the two head coaches. It is classic mentor against pupil. I mean, Rhett Lashley, I think, would say he owes his coaching life to Gus Malzahn. Now, he fired him.
Here's my experience with those, though. Rhett Lashley wants that game a whole lot more because of that. He wants to go. As much as they respect the guys that brought them up, they want to beat them more.
And he remembers being fired by him.
Yeah, that too.
Because it's never Gus's fault.
Yes. Well, and it's kind of funny, too, the Gus Malzahn experience at Auburn. Hired a bunch of young OCs so he could have control and then blamed them based on his play calling.
What a great move.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm still waiting for Gus Malzahn, the offensive whiz kid.
I haven't seen it this year, I'll tell you that right now.
I haven't seen it other than that first year at Arkansas, and it wasn't all him, but if you want to believe it was, go ahead.
I wanted to believe that John Rice Plumlee would be sort of pseudo-answer for him at quarterback, sort of the Nick Marshall mold, run the ball, throw it out to the edge, that type of thing, make the easy, confident throws. John Rice, I think he's a good player. I think he can run the ball. He can play. He can play ball. Good athlete. If I'm scheming against him, it's very simple. It's about gap integrity and stopping the run. It's simple. That's how I feel.
Almost play a bare front.
And let him throw. See if he can throw.
If you beat me
if
over
he
the top,
starts making the throws, guess what? You can loosen it up and go back to your base and deal with it from there. But until he makes a consistent throw down the field, I would not even worry about that. part of his
and
game.
we remember after week 1, when there was still some question about who would be quarterback at Ole Miss, it wasn't any in my mind. And I had a little more insight on it than everybody else. But the people that were kind of pining and longing, John Rice could be in this offense. No, Lane Kiffin saw it every day for 2 years.
He did give him a fair shake, though, with Matt, which was
Gave
interesting.
him a really fair shake. And I told you, I left that scrimmage thinking John Rice looked better.
Mm-hmm.
May have been that part of that year a little better practice player, but then Matt Corral turned that on and became the best practice player imaginable.
Slate-wise, in college football for Week 6, it's not overly exciting. I think with Week 1 through 5, we've been a lot better. But there are a couple of matchups worth noting. Tennessee visiting LSU. That's one where I am not a big believer in LSU, but at Baton Rouge against that Tennessee team, and I think LSU has some pros on the defensive side of the ball, I think it could get a little bit weird.
That start time, 11 o'clock, I think that favors Tennessee. I normally say I think that favors the home team, but in this case, because of, and we know why, that tailgate, that LSU experience, unless it really spills over from Friday night, and it could, I think that plays to Tennessee's benefit. I don't think the crowd will be that raucous at 11 bells.
As much as we talked about the offensive side of the ball, the cupboard being bare, with Ed Orgeron leaving and what he left Brian Kelly, I think it's bare on the offensive side of the ball. Although there's some talent there, but it just hasn't really come together the right way. And at quarterback, you're struggling with Jaden Daniels.
What do they have that's great on offense?
You thought Keyshawn Butte, he hadn't been much. He's been okay.
There's been that lingering since FSU.
I'll say
check
this.
out a factor about him.
Their true freshman left tackle, Will Campbell's a stud, but he's a true freshman. He's still learning. Yeah, that's the guy that I would point to, believe it or not. And Noah Cain's okay, but no, offensively I think the cupboard's bare. Defensively, they have some guys.
They do.
B.J. Ojolari, Ali Gabe, Mekhi Wingo, who transferred over. That Jay Ward, their safety. LSU down the stretch of the season, and I guess going out on the road is going to be tougher for them. It just generally is on the SEC. But home games, they're going to be a tricky team for other teams to deal with.
Ali Gabe's worst game was that opening night, Sunday night game against FSU. Since then, it's been
well. We could argue he could still be suspended for the hit he put on Jordan Travis. My gosh,
that was the demo.
He didn't even try it. He didn't even try
This
to
is
act.
what you don't do.
Exactly. That is when referees come in for preseason meetings with each team. That'll be the first. Don't do this. Don't launch with your head down,
ground
at his head,
violent. All of it.
He didn't even use his arm. Didn't wrap up. He just that was interesting. Also, Arkansas at Mississippi State. Now, is KJ going to be? And that's another 11 a.m. game on SEC
practice
Network.
all week. I don't think.
Cade Fortin going to get the start.
Or Malik Hornsby, and you didn't see any Malik Hornsby.
But he's been playing a lot more. He's been playing a lot more wide receiver. He's been
more wide receiver, a lot more gadget plays, special packages. How long can that work? After you break that out early, you run that special package early. Gabe, you say it from 2015. You said your guys on the sideline you loved on the second drive, and it was even successful when Laquan was throwing the ball.
If you
got him right where we want him.
If you're emptying the clip of what you have in your offensive playbook that early in a game,
what do you have in the fourth quarter?
What do you have? I just don't trust you from that point on. That seriously was one of that.
It's screaming we can't line up and run it.
Licking your chops when you see that, when you see something like that. Now we'll see what Arkansas does. Arkansas at full strength can go on the road and compete at a high level against Mississippi State.
I had this as a Razorback loss in the preseason, and I'm going to be there when we do picks on Friday. I just think everything, the whole dynamic is working against them.
11 a.m. with the cowbells, dealing with that, maybe no quarterback.
That Bama hangover effect.
And you're coming off a game where you got gashed in the run game, and you know you don't have a great secondary. Now you're going against an air raid team. There's some struggles there. I think them at full strength and the right mindset can compete fine against Mississippi State, but I don't know if they're there. I don't know if they're there.
There's only one Drew Sanders.
Yeah.
There's just one of them.
By the way, bumper pool. Have you seen how close he's getting to the top of the total tackles leaders in SEC history. He's third right now.
He's a great tackler, but Saturday he was all out of whack. He was out of position a lot and looked to be in that game slower than I ever remembered him.
Brett, I'm not trying to trash on him because I think he's a good player. I think he's a great player. He is 5 yards down the field making tackles a whole lot.
Yeah.
In covering, he's a step slower, especially these days. And maybe that has to do with him being in college as long as he has. Because sometimes you see guys lose a step.
You know Leach will break out a wheel route on him Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think it'll be Dylan Johnson on a wheel route, and it'll make him uncomfortable. Yes, 100%. I would count on that. Now, also, anything else in the SEC that's really worth catching your eye?
I love this Saturday because it's one of only 2 Saturdays this year that the games are all SEC. 7 games, everybody playing against each other this weekend, and Saturday, November 12th. Only 2 of those in the crazy year of COVID. I liked it every week was SEC versus SEC. I did, and it's why it's a little bit of traction out there, not just for 9 games, but my 10 game, and especially in this super expanded SEC that this 20-pack we're going to someday, sooner rather than later. You're hearing and seeing more and more of that. That would be fine with me.
Georgia going to back up that close game against Mizzou by smacking Auburn. 30-point favorites at home.
Great rivalry, but it feels like Georgia's going to get 2 weeks of frustration out on Auburn, and Auburn's had 2 weeks of aggravation.
But outside of those, and obviously we've talked about Alabama A&M, outside of all the top ones I've talked about, Kentucky, South Carolina, there's some potential for that to be at least competitive, but it depends what Spencer Rattler you see.
Kentucky, a good team, very physical, but not the offensive line we're used to with Stoops.
Yeah, I mean, it allowed way too much pressure this entire year. Defensive side of the ball, they're good still. They're very stout, and they make you a little bit uncomfortable. But I agree with that. It's been ugly, tough sledding. They haven't run the ball worth a darn either this year.
Some of that's the lack of Chris Rodriguez. Late in the game, I thought there was a conditioning issue with him late in the game. It was tough on him. He was laboring.
That's like coming back week 5.
That's it.
That'll do it to you. And you have to run some extra 55s and 110s to get yourself ready, but nothing gets you ready for a game. Nothing gets you ready for a game. In the AAC, we have that game tonight, SMU UCF, then the Friday game. I think the weekday games this week are really the most telling for the AAC by the end of the year. SMU UCF are going to try to compete for a championship. I think Houston and Memphis were right there as well.
I heard Bryant today filling in so very ably and capably for Dave and Jay Morgan, but I heard Bryant today making the case, building to a special Friday night over at the fairgrounds, over at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium for the Tigers, and a quick start paramount Friday. Yep. Just no coming in and feeling out a whole lot. Hit them fast. Now, I think with the dynamic going on around the Houston team, talking about some checkout factor.
Quit. That's the point. That's why the fast start's imperative. If you hit them in the mouth, get up 14 points immediately.
What time's the charter leave?
How many people are fighting on the sideline, right? Like they're having different conversations besides what are we going to do to win the game?
What's the box lunch on the charter?
What do you think they get for box lunch?
I don't know. What would you get? What was your favorite?
I mean, that's a good question. It never really got us anything exotic, to be honest. Canes, they give it Canes.
At Georgia Tech, I was in the locker room. Big sack of Jim and Nick's barbecue and barbecue chicken. I got me a sack. It was great.
Yeah. We got Uncle Lou's after every game.
That was my dinner
I think they still get
Atlanta.
the Uncle Lou's boxes after every game.
Good stuff.
Walking out. It gets cold by the time you get. Still fantastic cold, though.
If you're hungry, it tastes good. It tastes good anyway.
No, but getting off to a quick start's going to be huge. But also, I think even deeper than that, Tigers need to find offensively their identity. Identity. I think
and
generally
early,
speaking,
Brian. That was a good take.
I don't know what they are right now offensively. They want to be the throw it deep. They want to be able to find those guys down the field, and they want to use Seth Hennigan. But other teams know that, and they're scheming against that. You have to find some other way to move the ball. You can't come out as slow. This honestly goes without saying, but you can't come out as slow as you did against Temple. 0 points in the first half. Look, lost.
That leaves Houston in it.
That makes them feel fantastic about where they're at. And on a Friday night, it's gonna be a fun one.
Audience.
It's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be a fun one, though. No question about it. Also, that Tulane East Carolina game, that'll be the 2:30 ESPNU, the slot that the Tigers were in last week. So that's gonna be pretty telling as well. Now let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, talk about some MLB playoff baseball. Let's discuss it right here on Sportstime with Gabe and Stats.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. It's been a particularly rainy season, and that stain on your ceiling isn't getting any smaller, exposing your family to the possibility of mold. Let me come take a look. 867-0303. Our technicians are Owens Corning Platinum Preferred, so don't let someone tell you that it has to be replaced if all you need is a repair to get several more years of life. 867-0303. Have me on your speed dial for when life's little catastrophes come up. 867-0303. Upgrade your roof to a beautiful Owens Corning Duration Architectural Shingle with a 50-year warranty and an unheard of 25-year labor guarantee. I'll measure your roof from outer space and give you a competitive estimate right over the phone. Buy now and pay nothing till 2022 with approved credit. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
It's time for another season of golf at Miramichi. You know the spot, 15 minutes north of downtown in Woodstock. I call it heaven. It's 330 acres of natural beauty, 7,400 yards of championship-level golf, but there are several different tee boxes which make it fun or competitive for every level of golf. And the practice facilities are as good as any country club, and every round of golf comes with a cart and complimentary range balls. You can really improve your game, and you'll love the prices, too. Seniors can play Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for as low as $33. Again, the golf cart and the range balls are thrown in. The standard weekday rates are as low as $44. Friday, it's $50, and on Sunday, it's $55. You'll love the view from the terrace. You look out and see the best view in all of Shelby County. The whole experience, it's just fantastic. Go check it out yourself at Miramichi.
Tiger Nation, come out to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium Friday, October 7th as your 4-1 Memphis Tigers take on conference rival Houston. Tickets start at just $20 and kickoff is at 6:30. Bring the whole family and watch 901's football team. Tailgate on the revamped Tiger Lane. Cheer the team into the stadium during the Tiger Walk and help your Tigers stay undefeated at home. Start your weekend off right with Memphis Tiger football. Go Tigers, go.
I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You know how close that is. It's right there at Highway 78, Lamar Avenue, and Craft Road, the very first exit in Mississippi. I say it because they always come up with new innovations. And right now, when we've had all these shortages on new cars, Homer Skelton Hyundai is always going to come through for you. You won't pay more than the sticker price for a new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's Chris True's pledge. You'll never pay more than sticker price. Those other guys, they could charge you a whole lot more for that new car because they know there's a shortage. That never happens at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's part of the philosophy and the team that's been together for about 15 years now. You want the best of service? You want the best of products? It's the combination and the trust you'll always get from the best guys around. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch.
In the alley since 1948, the world-famous Rendezvous. John, it's so good to see everything kind of getting back to normal.
Brett, we've done a lot of ads before, but maybe it's time for me to do a recap. We have valet parking at the end of our alley on Monroe. On Fridays and Saturdays, we give away our wonderful red beans and rice until it runs out. And you know we like to do things local. Miss Barbara Jackson of O Taste and See has been making these wonderful chess and pecan pies, that's pecan, not pecan, and key lime pies for dessert. And we just started serving this wonderful gelato from Sweet Magnolia Gelato Company. And just to remind everybody, you don't eat cheese and sausage with a knife and fork. You take a cracker, you put sausage on it, you put a piece of cheese on it, a little mustard or a little sauce, take a bite and chase it with the pickle. Brett, we've always been the place for all gatherings, whether they're corporate, rehearsal dinners, retirement parties, birthday parties, whatever. We seat anywhere from 20 people to 250 people. And oh, by the way, we are now open for lunch from 11 o'clock on Tuesday through Saturday. Come see us at the Rendezvous.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
I think this is the best chicken I ever had.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Back in, and we have some baseball, some MLB playoff baseball coming up. Starting on Friday, the wild card round, 3 games this year for the first time. That'll be fun to see.
4 on Friday. 4 games Friday.
No. I'm saying 3-game series.
Yes, I'm sorry.
But 4 games in general. In the AL, Tampa Bay versus Cleveland, and Seattle versus Toronto, and then in the NL, Philadelphia versus St. Louis, San Diego versus the New York Mets. Let's talk our Cardinals. Three pitchers. 3 starters. Who you going with right now? It's make or break. They haven't announced anything yet.
Michaelis?
Yes.
Wainwright? Montgomery?
Ooh.
Right?
I'd stay away from Montgomery, honestly. I'd rather throw Quintana than Montgomery at this moment.
I would have either one of them up early.
Michaelis, Quintana, pray you win both games, and then throw Montgomery.
No way,
no.
He's gonna have to go out there sometime in October if my good feelings.
I'm gonna be honest.
Throw him in the next round.
I'm gonna be honest. Wayno in a 1-1 series would freak me out, but at the same time give me confidence if that makes any sense at all.
What about Wayno down 1-0?
No, thank you.
No, you don't throw him down 1-0. But if it's 1-1 game 3 and you're down to Wayno or Montgomery, I don't know. I might throw Wayno.
I've got that Ben Crenshaw good 99 Ryder Cup feeling though. I really do.
I hope you're right.
I think my preseason
just feeling. No, I
feel good about it.
No reasonable explanation for the feeling, just a feeling.
I like it. That's all
you need. Now, I'll say this on the Phillies side.
A whole lot of fandom.
On the Phillies side, their pitching rotation is not all that scary as you'd think.
It's good.
They like Wheeler and Nola are talented. They can throw with power. They can burn one by you.
They're not running Roy
They can make you
out there.
they can make you uncomfortable. But they haven't had their best years. Haven't had their best stuff this year. So they're not. Once they get outside of Nola, they're going to have some struggles about who they want to throw. They're going to have to make that decision. But their lineup definitely scares you with who you're going to have to throw against. A lot of soft tossers versus Hoskins, Schwarber, Castellanos, Realmuto, Harper.
In a worst-case scenario for my good feeling, top of the first, just trying to goose one over to get an early lead on Schwarber, and he hits it off the arch.
Well, his home runs get out in a hurry, though. He doesn't get any loft on.
The one I saw that Friday night in Atlanta.
They're all like that. It feels like
head high. It was head high.
They're all like that. Even in the home run derby, he couldn't get a whole bunch of lift on any of them.
Seeing the Braves in person that night, that feeling around that ballpark, that's when I knew this is who you have to go through to beat. You got to beat the champs.
Yeah. Now on the Aaron Judge 62 front, how much do you think he'll get paid this offseason? And do you think the Yankees are going to fork up that money?
They will. I even heard Buster Olney talk about the frugal Yankees. Buster, you covered them forever. Frugality's never been the Yankees.
Yeah. But
they're not tight at all.
So ESPN sampled a bunch of MLB executives. And obviously some of them are going to go low, some of them are going to go enormously high. So it's all the teams, picked one executive, and the average for what the contract could look like, 8.6 years and $320 million. I look at that number. I looked at that number, Brett, and I thought that was a little low almost. I think you need to. I think a four. I think a 4 in front of $400 million is more real.
Not our local congressman, but the New York Mets owner, Steve Cohen. He's the perfect, not foil, but antagonist for Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge loves it. Steve Cohen's the owner of the Mets. Doesn't have near the money trouble that Wilpon did.
Yep.
And he can play that New York media game. If y'all don't re-sign him, we will. And you want to look up and see him in
what a story
at City and Queens.
That would be.
Yeah.
What a story that would be. And
for our Giants talk as well. San Francisco, him going back home, and they can afford it.
Yeah, affording it is $400 million, though, in my opinion. I don't think you're getting. I don't think you're getting them. And obviously, he's 30 years old. So,
and can you believe we talk about $400 million this casually and loosely?
We're here, though.
When new Busch Stadium in 2006, it cost $280 to build.
Yep. 62 home runs, though, after getting kind of spurned and not agreeing to a contract with the team you're on now. That's an all-time bet on yourself and win move. Aaron Judge, that's beautifully done.
Jackpot.
And I don't know what they'll do in the playoffs. I'm not sure. I'm not a big believer in the Yankees
Networks
bullpen right now, but
no, I'm not either.
We'll see. But attention sports fans, your favorite sports book, BetUS.com is back for their 28th year of NFL action with the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of 200%. BetUS offers their members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite leagues, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. They've also got hundreds of new casino games, including their coolest European slots, and their live dealers are waiting at the tables for you. You need a sports book with integrity and longevity, and you need to know that you're going to get paid. You need a sports book that offers everything, including live betting, MMA, golf, horses, esports, and all kinds of crazy bets. Call today, 1-800-79-BET-US. That's 1-800-79-BET-US, and they will walk you through setting up an account. Nobody in the industry gives you better bonuses than BetUS. Join now. Mention promo code Sports56Radio. Again, that promo code is Sports56Radio. You can get up to 200% in bonuses on your first deposit. Nobody beats that. Head to BetUS.com and join today. That's BetUS, where the game begins. Hour number 3 is on the way, and we have a whole lot to talk to about with Chris Gordy from the Astros Radio Network, from Locked On SEC host. We'll talk some college football. We'll talk some MLB playoffs. That's on the other side right here on Sports Time with Gabe and Stats.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Hey, what QC Kinetics is doing for people here is terrific. Nothing short of amazing. I'm talking real lasting relief from joint pain. Hey, it's Greg Gaston. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting new pain treatments with advanced regenerative medicine, non-surgical alternatives. If you're living with joint pain from injury or arthritis, don't let them tell you steroids and pain meds and surgery are your only options. QC Kinetics uses regenerative treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue. All right, maybe you've been diagnosed with bone-on-bone arthritis and have been told you need a replacement. Call QC Kinetics now for an alternative way to deal with the pain. These amazing protocols work with pain caused by injury as well, like a torn meniscus or rotator cuff. Call QC Kinetics now. Don't delay. Don't keep living with that pain. Learn how regenerative medicine can give you your life back with no drugs and no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 901-445-1010. That's 901-445-1010. QC Kinetics. 901-445-1010.
Collierville Auto Center is all about trucks and Jeeps, and the inventory is all stocked up. Been looking for that special ride? You're covered from the basics on up. Want to sell your truck or Jeep? Then bring it in and get a fair deal. The technicians at Collierville Auto Center know just about all there is to know when it comes to trucks and Jeeps. So don't be afraid to ask questions. They've probably heard them all. Every truck on the lot has been fully serviced from top to bottom and bumper to bumper, and there are warranties available. Collierville Auto Center, 651 West Poplar in Collierville, and online at ColliervilleAutoCenter.com.
2000, 2008, 2022. When it comes to the economy, those are some scary years. .com crash, housing crash, and the roller coaster we're going through right now. It's a dangerous time to not know your numbers. But over 31,000 businesses have the confidence and clarity they need because they rely on NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of financials, inventory, HR, planning, and budgeting. Manage risk, get reliable forecasts, improve margins. Everything you need all in one place. So, how do you prepare for uncertain times? The answer, NetSuite. NetSuite helps you identify rising costs, automate your business processes, and easily see where to save money. That's why 93% of customers say they improved their visibility and control when they upgraded to NetSuite. What are you waiting for? NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind flexible financing program. Head to netsuite.com/play. netsuite.com/play.
Say there was a place, the perfect place for everything you need for tailgates and patios, grills and chairs, charcoal and coolers, everything to make a great game or a great day. That perfect place wouldn't be a warehouse. It's East Memphis Ace Hardware. Locally owned and operated at Quince and White Station, East Memphis Ace Hardware is where you'll find Benjamin Moore paints, local plants from local growers, and Black & Decker tools. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their tailgates. Welcome to East Memphis Ace Hardware, the home convenience store.
Like, I don't know. Can you just pick something and order? Yeah, but anyway, where are you at? You don't...
It only takes 2 seconds of distracted driving to become a statistic. You can lose your driving privileges, your vehicle, face jail time, or even lose or take a life. Slow down, Memphis. The life you save may be your own. Brought to you by the Memphis Police Department, Traffic Operations.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
Let's talk some numbers here.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
I used to feel so devastated.
Chris Gordy is on air at Sports Talk 790 in Houston. He is an Astros host for the Astros Radio Network. Locked On SEC podcast on the Locked On Network. Does a whole lot, wears a lot of hats, and he joins us now via the phone line on Twitter at Chris Gordy. Chris, how are you, man? Good to hear from you.
Good, guys. I'm also a Leo, if you want to throw that out.
Rock on. There we go.
And like slow walks in the summertime on the beach in a faraway place, right? You don't ever have any time off, though, Chris Gordy. This is a great time of the year. I know a lot of people, and I love it too, a lot of people, Chris, will answer favorite sports month being March, in March Madness. I love it. But this one's my favorite. The collision of baseball playoffs, the ceremonial red, white, and blue, bunting out, and college football. This is it for me, Chris.
Yeah, as much as I liked the one game wild card elimination, I do think it's a little bit more fair that they're putting it into a best of 3 series. And so real excited for those this weekend. I'm sure you guys are super amped for the Cardinals to be in there. But, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, thank God for technology, though, guys. I went out for a weekend trip to L.A. this past weekend with my wife, and I was able to keep up with all the games, watching them all on our phones. And, you know, it's just like, man, it's nice that I'm going to be traveling with the Astros, but I'll still get to watch all the SEC games, take notes, and all that kind of stuff. So praise technology and phone streaming. Thank God.
Is it I know the answer to this. This is a go-far year. This is Dusty to get the last thing in baseball he hadn't gotten. That's a World Series championship. It's a big-time go-far year, isn't it?
Yeah, and what's so interesting, guys, and there's so many parallels to the St. Louis Cardinals and their run that they had for all those years, this Astros team with all their core players they have, but both the manager and the GM are lame ducks, basically. Like, Dusty does not have a contract past this year, and the GM, James Click, doesn't either. There's some thoughts that ownership wants to go a little bit younger. They want to get more they're so analytically driven. They want to get some young guys in there that think that way, from manager to GM. So it's kind of a weird, awkward situation where the Astros are going in, I think, as the betting favorites, them and the Dodgers, to win the World Series, yet we're literally talking about maybe a managerial change and GM change this offseason.
Now I know how it can get bizarre when we're talking about playoff series and the MLB and hot hitting and people just getting lucky. It just happens. But who's the scariest team in the AL? Would you say it's the Yankees outside of for the Astros? Who's the scariest team for the Astros in the AL? Is it the Yankees or do you think it's somebody else?
The Yankees is the easy one, but the Astros actually played them very well during the regular season. They won the regular season series with them. They've seen them a couple times in the playoffs in recent years. The Astros have, taken advantage every time that they've seen them. So, it's not so much the Yankees. I'm staring at this Toronto game. It's going to be the winner of the Toronto-Seattle series, who they're going to face in the ALDS. And it's just scary because that lineup is so deep in Toronto that they can literally get hot at any moment. You're talking about George Springer, the former Astro, leading off of them. He'd be coming back to Minute Maid Park with a chip on his shoulder. So I want no part of Toronto. But then the more I start thinking about Seattle, the Astros have beat up on them so much playing in the division. But, when you play a team you've seen so much, they know you better than anybody. And I keep envisioning this, guys. Let's say Seattle steals one in the ALDS against the Astros, and we go out to Seattle, who hasn't hosted a playoff game in forever. Like, that city is going to be on fire. I could already see Ichiro throwing out the first pitch, and that just scares me. So I want no part of that either.
Ichiro in full uniform again, or do we ditch the full uniform
with Griffey Jr. catching it?
Right, exactly.
I have trouble though in general with the Yankees. I just don't know. You look at what they've done after the All-Star break. They just don't seem like that scary of a team at this moment. I understand what they can get done. I understand what it has been, the chase this whole second half. Maybe there were some distractions going. But the Yankees just do not feel like a scary team.
I don't think they're the best team in New York, Chris.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, the Mets and Braves, that race was so fun to watch, and the Mets should be kicking themselves for blowing that lead that they had. But no, the Yankees, I mean, they've been up and down, and the starting pitching is nowhere near where it was earlier in the season. The offense is hit or miss. It all became about Judge getting hit that home run, but Judge in the postseason, I believe over a third of his at-bats have been strikeouts in the postseason. So, they'll go as far as their starting pitching could take them, but I mean, even Garrett Cole doesn't look like the Garrett Cole that he was in Houston when he was on top of his game, dominating night in and night out. So,
right.
It'll be interesting. I mean, look, the networks are open for a Yankees-Dodgers World Series. They give their right arm to get that, but just because they're rooting for that, we're going to wind up with the Guardians and Cardinals, and everybody will be angry.
Yeah. Okay. Now with the home run chase, too much made of Aaron Judge at 62, not enough, or somewhere right in the middle.
Too much. If I had to guess, Brett, who's the baseball purist, he may have enjoyed this, but I think it was too much. When I'm watching Auburn-Mizzou and I keep getting cut in with at bats, come on, man. No one watching Auburn-Mizzou gives a damn what Aaron Judge is doing. And on top of it, it's not even the single season record. And we can get into the steroid debate and all that kind of stuff. But look, is it noteworthy? Yes. But if you're going to do live cut-ins, at least keep the audio of the football game on.
Right,
We don't need to hear Michael Kay giving us every pitch of the at-bat. I just thought that was very silly. But, look, it matters in the Bronx. It matters in Yankee lore, absolutely. But I think a lot of the rest of the country, we just got burnt out on it very quick. We're like, we don't give a damn. Just let us know when he breaks it, and we'll move on with our lives.
Chris, where it really mattered, it was the executive lunchroom at ESPN.
Yep.
That's where it really mattered, and that's why it got driven kind of down our throats like that. We're all, Brian, Gabe, we're all in agreement that the record is Barry Lamar Bonds, 73. That's the record. This was the seventh most. Is that right? 63 was the seventh most. And we get almost Neil Armstrong walking on the moon coverage. Man, I thought we were going to get Jules.
And honestly, guys,
with the mock-ups of the lunar module.
And honestly, Albert Pujols 700 should have been a little more front page, I think, than that. But I understand middle of America, St. Louis.
But New York, if you can make it there.
Yeah, you're right, guys. And again, he did it. He got it over with. We're done with it. But, look, did it matter if you're breaking a Roger Maris record? Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But, again, in the grand scheme of things, they have to ask themselves, does the rest of the country care? And does somebody watching SMU versus Texas Tech care? Like, come on.
Yeah. And Chris, really illustrative to kind of everything, what we do every day, what you do every day. You got to give people what they care about. If people want to eat orange sherbet for breakfast, you serve it to them.
Well, that's what's so funny is, this news came out about a week ago that they're going to change up the Pro Bowl and all this kind of stuff. Do you guys know their TV ratings for the Pro Bowl this year outrated Dodgers, Braves in the playoffs?
It's insane
this past
to me.
Year? Like, I mean, more people watch that game, and then they're like, we got to change it up. Why? It's still working. People are still tuning in. So it's just funny. I mean, go by what the numbers say. If you're putting something out there and everybody wants it, then okay, let them eat cake. But yeah, I'm over the Aaron Judge stuff. We need to turn the page.
Now, let's turn the page into the SEC. Let's talk some SEC football. LSU versus Tennessee this week. LSU at home, 11 a.m.
It ain't
Tennessee,
orange sherbet, but it's barbecue.
Tennessee trying to stay on top, trying to prove who they are this year. What do you think about LSU though so far this year? And do you think that this game could get tricky down the stretch?
Yeah, I'm very impressed with what I've seen from LSU. They're a little bit ahead of schedule, I think, than where we thought they would be. Because the thing about this, guys, the turnover of that roster, I was at the game in Houston, their bowl game, where they were just absolutely obliterated. They had like 45 scholarship kids. I mean, it was insane. They could barely field the team. They had a wide receiver playing quarterback. That's what Brian Kelly inherited. And then he had to hit up the transfer portal. They brought in a ton of kids from all over the country. Jaden Daniels, quarterback, comes in from Arizona State. He went all spring without ever throwing a ball to Keyshawn Boutte, who is LSU's, star receiver. They're still kind of having trouble developing that chemistry and getting going. But what I've seen from this defense and what Matt House has done has been phenomenal. I mean, when he chooses to bring pressure, when he doesn't, I thought he had a phenomenal game plan. Their win over Mississippi State, the whole Will Rogers to 214 yards passing, and one of his lowest yard totals ever. I thought that was outstanding. And then this past week to shut out Auburn in the second half in their house. I get it. Auburn's got their own issues and all that, but to go on the road in an SEC environment and shut out a team in their house in an entire half, I think that is absolutely outstanding. The big problem for LSU is offensive continuity. They got to find some consistency there, especially in the first half. Like, you think about this, guys, most teams script out the first 15, 20 plays that they want to run on offense, and you'll adapt, you'll change here and there. But LSU has been so bad in their starts to games. You go back to the Florida State game week 1, they scored 3 points in the first half of that one. They scored 7 points in the first half of the Mississippi State game, and then they had 7 points against Auburn before they scored a second touchdown in the 2-minute offense right before the halftime. But they have not been a first-half team. They got to get that figured out, and as resilient as they are, they were down 17-0 in the first half to Auburn before they put together a rally and came back. Man, if you fall behind 17-0, 21-0 in this Tennessee team, I don't think they're going to be able to come back in the second half. So they got to find a way to start quick. And Brian Kelly has said as much that, 80 yards passing for a quarterback these days, that's not acceptable for a program like LSU. So I'm real excited to see this matchup, guys, because I think it's strength on strength. LSU's defense against Tennessee's high-flying offense. And then the flip side, Tennessee's biggest weakness is their defense, their secondary. Can LSU make the passing plays to against that secondary and against that defense to make them pay? So it's going to be a really fun game. I know it's been announced as a sellout. It's 11 a.m. game for Baton Rouge, which is disappointing. But hey, those fans will just get up at 4 a.m. and start making the Bloody Marys and the mimosas, and they'll be tanked come 11 a.m. anyway. So it's going to be a lot of fun, but I'm excited to see. I mean, I was just talking with somebody about this game, about how Hendon Hooker manages the game even without Cedric Tillman, which, sounds like he's not going to play. But he's got enough weapons with Jalen Hyatt and all those guys. But where's Tennessee's run game? Can they get Jabari Small going? I know, when Hooker's got to tuck it and run it, he can do that. But I'm really curious to see if they can get a little bit more balance, get more out of that run game. And who knows? I mean, look, they're a 3-point favorite right now, but if LSU can force them into some mistakes, we're talking about the two quarterbacks in the SEC, guys, who have yet to throw an interception, Jaden Daniels and Hendon Hooker. So if one of those guys makes a mistake, throws a pick this week, it could be costly and it could change the game.
Chris, using Ole Miss and Matt Corral from last year kind of as my test case here, as my model, which one do you think so far best kind of living up to that and can finish 10-2 regular season like Matt Corral and Ole Miss did last year? Hendon Hooker at Tennessee or Will Rogers at Mississippi State?
Man, that's a good one. Before the season, I said both Kentucky and Tennessee were in that category of, teams that I didn't think were going to be Georgia, but could go 10-2 and have a really good year. And, Kentucky, unfortunately, didn't pass the test this past week, and they should have won that game against Ole Miss. You get into the red zone twice late, and you're not able to do it. Now, credit Jaden Ivey and credit Ole Miss to making the big plays that they needed to late to win that game. But, I'd say, I guess maybe it's Mississippi State because, they really took it to A&M, and it wasn't just through the passing game. It was through the run game, too. This Mike Leach team has shown at times when they have to run the football, they can, and they can gash you for 100 yards on the ground. So I like what I've seen out of the Mississippi State team. It's not that I don't like Tennessee. I do. But I think Mississippi State is a team that, if they keep playing like this, they're going to give Alabama some fits in a couple of weeks.
How do you think they fare against a team like Arkansas? I know what Arkansas has done so far this year, 3-2. That loss against A&M was nasty. I think they were the better team out there that day. KJ Jefferson, we don't know if he's going to be able to play. But on the road, 11 a.m., Arkansas going to Mississippi State. How do you think State can handle that? Do you think they can get over the hump?
Yeah, I'm a little overreactionary. I'm out on Arkansas now. I believed in them in the A&M game. I thought they should have won that game. And I bought into them. I predicted preseason I had them beating Alabama in Fayetteville. And, man, when they cut it to 28-23 this past Saturday, I'm going, man, Bryce Young is out of the game. Here we go, KJ. Let's go. The Razorbacks are coming. They're going to get me my upset that I called. And that defense absolutely let me down. And they let Jalen Milroe run all over him. They let Jahmyr Gibbs run all over him. And made me look stupid. So, again, maybe I'm being overreactionary, but I'm out on the Hogs, man. You're going in a hostile environment in Starkville, and, KJ Jefferson may not play. It may be Cade Fortin, and if that's the case, those cowbells are going to be clanging, and I think Will Rogers to Mississippi State get another big win. Keep in mind, though, guys, Mike Leach, every time he's had a quarterback in year 3 of his air raid system, that quarterback thrives, and we're seeing that from Will Rogers. This might be a year that Mississippi State might be that team that could go maybe 10-2.
Mm-hmm. I said it in the preseason. And some of my state friends didn't like the comparison, but I meant similar to that year that Matt Corral had last year for Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Arkansas, arguably Auburn, maybe even Texas A&M. For those teams to have that double-digit win season, Chris, you have to thread the needle. You have to get lucky.
Yeah, no doubt. And you need some luck on your side. And look, nobody's projecting, I'm not picking Mississippi State to win the West and get to Atlanta, but, getting 10 wins is huge for your program.
Go to the Sugar Bowl?
Yeah, absolutely. Look at what it did for Lane, and who knows, if Matt Corral doesn't get hurt, maybe they beat Baylor in that Sugar Bowl. So, getting the 10 wins is absolutely massive for programs like Mississippi State that, look, they celebrate 7-5 seasons. It's so tough to win in this conference. So, no, that would absolutely be a huge cherry on the top. And the same goes for Tennessee, or even if Kentucky can rally and, finish 10-2 with Will Levis and company. I think that would be a massive win for Mark Stoops. So there's no shame in finishing third in the SEC these days.
Chris, you'll love this. At the hotel, after beating Indiana to go 5-5 in the COVID year, a lot of congratulations, good party. And Lane Kiffin said, "No, we're not printing any coffee table books over going 5-5, are we, guys? Come on, stop with all. We had a good year. We made progress, but let's don't get too content." And you're right. A lot of those teams those schools we named, I think sometimes can get too contented with too little.
Yeah, and I think Lane is in an interesting spot now. This past offseason, I heard so many reports of, he was trying to get, he was trying to throw his name in the hat for a lot of those big jobs that were open this past offseason. And I think after he didn't get them, I think he kind of recommitted himself to Ole Miss, and, he got the contract extension, and he kind of resigned himself. Okay, this is where I am, and we're going to make this work via the transfer portal. We're going to ask the fans to step up when it comes to NIL. He took a shot at the fans a week ago saying, hey, y'all better show up and show out for this Kentucky game, and they absolutely did. So I think Lane is at Ole Miss, at least for the foreseeable future now. I don't think he's eyeing anywhere else. There's been these reports, could he go to Auburn? I just think that's a lateral move at this point. I know Auburn fans will argue they're a better program than Ole Miss, but I think Lane's in a good spot right now, and I think he's not going anywhere for the foreseeable future. And, if he just keeps hitting up that transfer portal, he's going to be competitive year in and year out.
Speaking of which, what's Auburn waiting on? And I know that's a tough question to ask. I know no one really knows the answer to that. But why is the move not being made?
And do they hire an AD before they hire a football coach?
Yeah, I think you have to hire an AD, and that AD has to hire your football coach. That's just the logical process. That's kind of why you how you find yourself in messes like you were just in. But I think this, guys, Georgia's a 30-point favorite this weekend. This is a big rivalry game, and I said if Auburn loses by 30 or more, I think Brian Harsin is gone by Monday. And somebody said, well, how? They're 30-point underdogs. I said because even though that's what Vegas says, that rivalry says it's supposed to be a close game. You're not supposed to be 30 points worse than your rival. And so it's one of those situations. Yeah, if Auburn goes out there and gets absolutely obliterated by Georgia this weekend, I think you say, look, we have enough evidence. This program's not going in the right direction. Brian Harsin is not making this team better week by week, and I think he's gone by Monday morning. Now, if it's a close game, I don't know. You can make a case that, hey,
Tuesday?
He's got the program. He's moving in the right direction,
Yeah, he might make it to Tuesday morning then.
Where are you at on the Hugh Freeze thought with Auburn?
I like Hugh Freeze. Look, everybody deserves a second chance for the most part.
He paid a big price too.
Yeah, people like Art Briles, the exception there. But when it's a personal thing, like when it's something that has nothing to do with the school or the players, or you didn't pay a player illegally, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like. It was a personal matter that got out there. Obviously the issues with the paying the light bill. I mean, those kind of things, like in the grand scheme of NIL, like those are so tame now. So I think enough time has passed that time heals all wounds. But Greg Sankey's been pretty firm on hey, when we get rid of a person, there's a reason for it. So I think he's going to have to go and if Auburn wanted to hire him, they would have to go to Greg Sankey hat in hand and have to make their case. But I'd be fine with it. I think most people would be okay with it at this point.
Do you have a perfect AD choice for Auburn?
I don't. And look, some schools there's a perfect fit, like when LSU went and got Scott Woodward, who had been there in the Saban era and, was Louisiana through and through. It just made sense. It didn't make sense to have him at Texas A&M. It made sense for him to come back home to LSU. Sometimes there's moves out there that make sense, but I just say go hire the best person that knows what they're doing. Your basketball program's in a great spot with Bruce Pearl. The baseball program's in a great spot. All the other athletic programs are in a great spot except the one that matters most, and it's football. So, look, go hire the person you think makes most sense for Auburn. They don't necessarily have to have ties. But you're right, Brett. Make that hire first, and then let that guy or woman hire the next head coach.
Last thing, real quick for fun: Alabama at home versus A&M. How do you think that game goes? How do you think Alabama's going to open up a can, or and obviously it depends on Bryce Young and his status for the game. I think he's day-to-day last time I checked. But if he can play, do you think this will just be a runaway and Alabama will pour it on?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, my initial reaction is, Alabama wants to pour it on. I think he's going to, that locker room speech pregame, I'd love to hear what Nick Saban tells that team. But it is an interesting dynamic that if Bryce Young does not play, and it sounds like he's not going to, Jalen Milroe is a very highly touted quarterback recruiting-wise, but this will be a big test for him because A&M does have some playmakers on that defense. So, if they're able to just run Jahmyr Gibbs down their throat, then okay, they probably won't have to do much. But if it's a close game, and Jalen Milroe has to make plays with his arm or with his legs, I'll be curious to see if the Aggies can maybe keep this one close down the stretch, just because Milroe hasn't really been tested yet. But, I go back to last year, Max Johnson, when he was at LSU, they played a close game with Alabama and nobody expected, lost 20-14, but Johnson played well. He threw for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns in that game. So if Max Johnson could play that well for A&M this week, granted he lost his go-to target in Naya Smith, maybe they could keep it close, but look, if I'm a betting man, I'm taking A&M minus those points all day. I think Saban is pulling a Rocky Apollo Creed and saying, don't stop. If he bleeds, don't stop. Keep punching until it's over. So it could get ugly, guys.
He is Chris Gordy on Twitter
stuff.
at Chris Gordy. Chris, let's do it again soon.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris. Chris Gordy, appreciate it so much. And we following the Astros, and he will be following the Astros all through the playoffs and into the World Series potentially, and always on the SEC. This hour of our show brought to you every day by DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road and online at DeSotoAutoSales.com. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience. And they're very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area. All the cars test driven, all checked out thoroughly, all examined bumper to bumper, and all parts in between. Unlimited inventory, every make, every model. And if by chance they don't have that special car that you're looking for on the lot, they'll go find it with their network of dealers and contacts. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. You walk in, you're treated like family by a kind, courteous staff, laid-back atmosphere, and they care about your time. They want you to enjoy the ultimate car experience. You walk in, find the car you want, test drive that car, credit approved, paperwork completed, all wrapped up in about 45 minutes or less, because they know we live in a world today that time matters, and that's why they have it so simplified and so streamlined for you. At DeSoto Auto Sales, online at DeSotoAutoSales.com, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience.
30 minutes left in a Wednesday show. Hit us up at the listener line, 901-360-8255. Watch our bright, smiling faces and message us on our socials, Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. But those 30 minutes, we have a few more things to get to. Stick with us.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You know how close that is. It's right there at Highway 78, Lamar Avenue, and Craft Road, the very first exit in Mississippi. I say it because they always come up with new innovations. And right now, when we've had all these shortages on new cars, Homer Skelton Hyundai is always going to come through for you. You won't pay more than the sticker price for a new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's Chris True's pledge. You'll never pay more than sticker price. Those other guys, they could charge you a whole lot more for that new car because they know there's a shortage. That never happens at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's part of the philosophy and the team that's been together for about 15 years now. You want the best of service? You want the best of products? It's the combination and the trust you'll always get from the best guys around. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. It's been a particularly rainy season, and that stain on your ceiling isn't getting any smaller, exposing your family to the possibility of mold. Let me come take a look. 867-0303. Our technicians are Owens Corning Platinum Preferred, so don't let someone tell you that it has to be replaced if all you need is a repair to get several more years of life. 867-0303. Have me on your speed dial for when life's little catastrophes come up. 867-0303. Upgrade your roof to a beautiful Owens Corning Duration Architectural Shingle with a 50-year warranty and an unheard of 25-year labor guarantee. I'll measure your roof from outer space and give you a competitive estimate right over the phone. Buy now and pay nothing till 2022 with approved credit. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Tiger Nation, come out to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium Friday, October 7th as your 4-1 Memphis Tigers take on conference rival Houston. Tickets start at just $20 and kickoff is at 6:30. Bring the whole family and watch 901's football team. Tailgate on the revamped Tiger Lane. Cheer the team into the stadium during the Tiger Walk and help your Tigers stay undefeated at home. Start your weekend off right with Memphis Tiger football. Go Tigers, go.
So what if summer's coming to a close? It'll be back, and you'll be ready with a new spa. Why's that?
because the world's biggest spa sale is happening right now at Family Leisure. Right now, through October the 2nd, you will get the best ever prices on spas. Family Leisure has a large selection of spas still in stock and ready to ship, and up to 30% off. Yes, 30% off in-stock spas. You want a swim spa? Now's the time to buy with huge discounts just for you. Special financing is available. Plus, you can get free upgrades on select spas. Just ask about it. Family Leisure also has fantastic deals on saunas and massage chairs. So, while summer is coming to a close, you should be opening up to a new spa during the world's biggest spa sale happening right now through October the 2nd at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Have you been looking for a cigar lounge that's laid back and offers style and a full bar and a great selection of cigars? Now let me tell you about the G-Spot Cigar Lounge, Memphis' premier cigar lounge, offering a wide selection of cigars, open 7 days a week starting at 12 noon for your smoking pleasure. Come kick back, enjoy a beer or a cocktail and a cigar while watching sports on one of their several TVs. G-Spot Cigar Lounge on Instagram and Facebook at the G-Spot Memphis, located at 6135 Mount Moriah Road, Suite 116.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
I couldn't believe it either, but that thing runs like new.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
My nail tech knows how to keep it a little secret. I don't wish for my success, I speak it. I caught a buzz and you did too, but you tweaking. I look like I've been getting money, how reeking. You smell me, that's LV. Walk around with my
back row, 30 minutes left. In this Hump Day edition of Sports Time, we gave him stats. I'm Gabe. He's stats. Brian Dacus produced the program. We're all in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Hit us up, listener line 901-360-8255. You know where it is. Now, there's a lot of rumblings going around in NFL circles about where Odell Beckham Jr. needs to land. We know what happened in the Super Bowl last year, tearing his ACL. He's still going through his rehab process.
It was good before he got hurt in that game.
He was great, and I think he would have been had he gotten to play that entire game, I thought he, truthfully, and people are going to say I'm overstating this, he probably had the potential to be a Super Bowl MVP
he sure
in that
did.
game. Now, the latest rumor is Aaron Rodgers and Odell Beckham Jr. hooking up in Green Bay. Now, for Odell Beckham Jr., he's sort of the Hollywood, out in the public eye type guy, so Green Bay would be a little bit of a different thing. But Pat McAfee,
New York, he's done Hollywood.
Pat McAfee had his Aaron Rodgers spot, and Aaron Rodgers said, OBJ and I have been friends for a number of years. You're always hoping there's a time where you can figure some things out and play together. So there's been some back and forth flirting, and I think if Odell Beckham Jr. is going to make his comeback and sign with a team, which a lot of people think he will do, he should do, I think that would make a whole lot of sense. He would be the center of attention in a lot of ways once he got into the swing of things.
It's your call. Would you sign him?
Yes.
I would too.
100%. He's not a nuisance. He's not an issue.
If you can try AB with TB12, you can sure try this.
And what's bothersome,
and Antonio Brown helped Super Bowl year for the Bucs.
What's bothersome is I think through that Browns experience with Baker Mayfield and how all that went down, and Odell Beckham Jr.'s dad posting clips of Baker missing him, I think he got that nuisance. Oh, he's a locker room cancer type guy. That's not who Odell Beckham Jr. is, and we saw it last year. They went on to a Super Bowl, and he was not an issue. He was a help.
He was not that in New York. Now there was the celebrated catch-net fighting back against him.
Yes, he got annoyed by Josh Norman. I mean,
when catch-nets fight back, I was there that day.
That's kind of funny,
and it was absolutely,
to be fair,
a demonstration of silliness between both of them. Josh Norman came out pregame hitting a baseball bat in the palm of his hand in front of Eli Manning. And he walked by Eli and like, come on now, are you crazy?
But Josh Norman, I mean, he's a nuisance. He was annoying. He was annoying on the field.
Gabe, I wish I'd have just had a microphone in the air, in the stands to hear with those New York accents going after both of them. One very pronounced Jersey accent. What I'm going to clean it way up. Come on, OBJ, you're making a fool of yourself. Just play ball. And that's not what that accent said.
But
it was something in the stands.
That's sort of his one run-in. But as of recently, I think he's been painted as a bad apple when he's not at all. I just don't think that's who he is as a player. Now, for the Packers, I don't see why you wouldn't at least make an offer. Now, I think at the end of the day, Odell makes the decision he wants to make. The Rams could use him.
Good options.
The Bills could use him. There's a lot of teams that could use him.
After all the medicals and make sure that he's really serviceable and can
go.
If
you're the Packers, though, you don't have to sign him for a long-term deal. You don't have to spend a whole bunch of money.
Player.
And you get a certifiable 1 or 2 wide receiver to pair with Allen Lazard, and Rodgers
is begging for more help. He knows that this can't last.
Romeo Doubs is his second best receiver right now. That's not gonna
the Romeo Doubs story.
That's not gonna lead you to a whole lot of great offense. Now they're 3-1, and they're gonna be fine, and they've done a good job defensively of building up what they have on that side of the ball. But Odell Beckham Jr. would unlock something with that offense that they haven't had this year, in the absence of Devontae Adams.
Might be the most colorful figure ever signed by the Packers in little old bitty toady Titletown.
It really is.
I mean, Big Apple, L.A. persona in Green Bay.
I can't think of anybody else. Who else would be sort of that star makeup?
Did they ever have Andre Rison there?
I don't know. But they've had those workmen like Donald Driver, Randall Cobb, Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings. They have made a living at getting guys like that. They haven't had the Odell Beckham.
Mark Chmura.
Jake Kumaro. Yeah.
Chmura had his moments there too.
Devontae Adams. Even I think
Bad Moon Rising ever play in Green Bay? I don't remember.
I don't know. I'm not positive. But Odell Beckham Jr., Bills, who else? Bills, Rams, I think Bucks. People say Bucks. Why? I don't they have plenty. Bills, Rams, and sort of where I would
I'd rather go to Green Bay than Buffalo.
Yeah. I'd probably rather go back to LA too. In a lot of ways if I were OBJ. But we'll see what happens with him. Now, Joe Burrow today was on with Colin Cowherd and was talking about the Tua Tagovailoa situation. And they were discussing concussions. And Joe Burrow said, well, it comes with the game. It comes with the game. That he went on to say, I've had some, talk about concussions, where I don't remember the second half, or I don't remember the entire game, or I know I got a little dizzy at one point, but nothing has ever been long-lasting.
Do you know the alarms that set off in the NFL?
That's what made me mad about it. That's what I wanted to start with. Be careful saying all that. You can't. Folks are going to watch him like a hawk, and there's going to be a lot of things.
That independent doctor could set him down.
There's going to be a lot of things and a lot of questions, a lot of protocols he's going to have to step through probably for the rest of the year.
And, Gabe, how many years are we removed from Troy Aikman taking that big hit in the NFC Championship game against the 49ers and saying the next week that he didn't even – it was a week off before the Super Bowl – that he didn't even remember that following week.
Yeah.
Okay, well, back then we thought, that's ball.
Yeah.
We don't think that anymore.
No, we know what CTE is. We've been there, done that. We get the idea of what this can do long term to you.
And for the NFL, they can't have it on the legal front. Look, Joe, when you come back with a big class action against us in about 10 years, we're going to remember this.
Every time he takes a shot to the head in the pocket, eyes are on him. And once he gets to the sideline, follow my finger.
And I'm telling you, I'm going to end up being right about this. Anything that is called a penalty, we don't need to do in celebration. Quit slapping people on the head and headbutting teammates in celebration.
guilty. I mean, I'm sorry.
I know.
It's just you get hyped up.
It goes with, but we shouldn't do it. I think people.
The worst thing ever, though. The worst thing ever, though, was guys hitting themselves in their own head.
Brady.
With
Brady's
their
routine
helmet.
pregame with people. Just headbutting people.
And it's love my guy Alan Cross, but he used to hit himself. He stopped, I think, at one point after his head was bleeding really bad. And who was the guy from the Seahawks? Owen Schmidt out of West Virginia. He was a fullback, and he was just. I never got that.
He was
type
like
of
a
stuff
pro
pregame.
wrestler. He'd cut himself pregame.
What do they call that in wrestling? Blading or something like that? I think that's what they call it. Whether you.
Yeah.
But still, regardless, some of those I agree with you, but sometimes guys get hyped when they see their guy score. I was definitely a notable
Green
head
used
slapper.
The Hall of Famer, the late Kevin Green.
Now, Joe Burrow's comments, while I think they're going to set off alarms in his locker room and in the NFL circles the entire rest of the year, he's correct. That's what happens.
He is. We just can't tell it.
Exactly. He's right.
I mean, wrestling's fake, but they can't tell it.
I think that what we need to do, though, we have to year by year sort of find a balance between playing the game we know and still sort of keeping that whole, right? Still keeping certain things legal. And we also have to find a way to keep everyone safe and pull them off the field if they get hit the wrong way, if they get targeted, we have to find that balance.
Long before they're nauseated and stumbling.
Huh?
Long before you're seeing signs.
Yes. But I Joe Burrow making that comment was just I don't blame him for speaking his truth. But at the same time, I think he's got to be a little more aware than that in that situation.
But most of the public has decided, okay, that they sign up for it.
And
that's the sport.
And he mentioned something about that. I mean, it is true. And we got questions last week on the text line and otherwise of when we were talking about Tua. Well, why do we play? Why is the sport played at all? Because people accept the money they can make, and they go ahead.
Nobody's making you.
No one's making you, and you make a lot of money to do it. But everyone knows the risks that come with it. That's why it is still played, and also the money that it generates. That's why it's still played.
These players that have retired, but when they still had plenty of ball left, you can quit at any time.
Yes.
And then there's Brady. Love football more than Giselle.
He wasn't at practice yesterday, from what I understand. He's got some injuries going on.
Why'd he come back this year? Everybody thought it was going to be a 2-year deal, and he had to come back for more. And look at the cost.
I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of torn on this. Because I think there's a level where you know that Tom Brady's at the end of his career. Yes, you don't want to peel him off the ground to get him out of his NFL career. But at the same time, shouldn't you, as your family, shouldn't you be a little relatively accepting and try to support him in his dreams? I know his dream has gone on for 20-plus years. I get that. But at the same time, one more year.
I hear you also, but how much?
But how much did he promise behind the scenes? How much is going on?
He promised 2 years.
Yeah, that's the other thing is you're going back on the promise you had.
And it's not like the day that the playing days are over that he's going off to take the kids off to a dude ranch. He's jumping right in the press box, and he's going to keep that routine. He's going to be in that city on Friday and Saturday and watching the film. I mean, he can't get away from it.
I think it's unfair to say he's been absent in his family life, but he has not been able to be around as much as he should. That's the truth of it. His kids have grown up a lot with Dad out of the house.
His Hall of Fame speech will be a river of tears of him saying, I did all this, and I kind of lost my family along the way.
That's sad. I mean, and we knew something was going on. It looks like his face is thin and he's not taking everything
sad
well.
Tom.
He's been unhappy, it looks like, in a lot of ways.
We almost needed an emoji, sad Tom.
Yeah. But I'll say this, we haven't seen Playboy Tom Brady in a while. Single Tom Brady in a while in the NFL.
That's 45.
It's been a while. Well, he looks better from the day that he joined the league as a rookie.
It's true.
He looks in better. He looks in better shape.
One of the great lines ever. You know what his pickup line was in Boston, don't you?
Huh?
Hi, my name is Tom. That's all he needed.
Not even Brady.
Hey, that's all he needed.
I got you. But true, we have not seen Playboy Tom in a while. We haven't seen Tom Brady single in a long time.
Oh.
I mean, prime bachelor on the market.
Go do it, Tom. Trust me, you just make a fool of yourself.
Well, this is not us single. One of us single at 50.
No,
this
it's
is
not.
Tom Brady single at 50.
It's quite different.
It's a whole lot different. So
it's got that pad in Beverly Hills. And you can just play so much golf.
He's good at it. He plays
Even
a lot
if you're
of golf.
good at it, you can just play so much golf.
Let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day. When we come back, we'll put a wrap on this Wednesday show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
So many people here are getting real lasting joint pain relief from QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics has changed my life.
I would recommend QC to anybody. The work that QC Kinetics did paid off exponentially.
It brought me back to an effective age of almost in my 20s and 30s.
QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge regenerative medicine, natural biologics from your own body, precision treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue in your aching joints, with no meds, no steroids, no drugs, and no downtime.
I got a very quick resolution to my pain.
It is a all-natural therapy. You're using you to fix you.
I got my life back. I got my smile back. And best of all, I got my laugh back.
Don't live with that pain anymore. And don't let them tell you surgery is your only option. Learn more about regenerative options from the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 901-445-1010. That's 901-445-1010. 901-445-1010.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing, and they've only been around for 5 years. Choose from hundreds of choices of wood, tile, vinyl, and carpet. Timmy, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood, tile, vinyl, and carpets. Jenkins meets all your needs from renovations to home building to installation. Enjoy buying excellent quality products at awesome prices. They're all about customer service at Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando. Call 662-469-9350.
Attention sports fans, your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back for our 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers our members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite leagues, including NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. We've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest European slots, and our live dealers are waiting for you at the tables. You need a sportsbook with integrity, longevity, and you need to know you're gonna get paid. You need a sportsbook that offers everything, including live betting, MMA, golf, horses, esports, and all kinds of crazy bets. Call today at 1-800-79-BET-US. That's 1-800-79-BET-US, and they will walk you through setting up an account. Nobody in the industry gives better bonuses than BetUS. Join now. Mention BetUS 2022, and you can get up to 200% in bonuses on your first deposit. Nobody beats that. Head to BetUS.com and join today. That's BetUS, where the game begins.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Choate's is offering some amazing specials for this month only. If you're considering upgrading your furnace before the cold weather comes, Choate's is offering $1,000 off a new Carrier furnace. If you don't need a new furnace, Choate's is now offering its early bird $60 furnace tune-up. This 22-point tune-up includes a free carbon monoxide test and heat exchanger inspection. And Choate's is your indoor air quality expert. For the best quality air for you and your family, it's recommended to have your air ducts cleaned every 8 years. This month only, Choate's will install a free UV light system when you get your air ducts cleaned, a $500 value. Call us at 347-8086 to take advantage of these amazing deals. So, turn to the experts with Choate's, and remember, let our family serve your family.
Rates are on the rise, but with Rocket, you get an advantage. You can lock your rate for 90 days while you search for a home. If rates drop within 3 years of buying your home, you'll get exclusive savings from Rocket Mortgage to refinance to a new lower rate. We'll help you lock it and drop it so you can buy today. That's the Rocket Advantage. Call 8337-ROCKET or go to therocketadvantage.com.
Must lock purchase rate between 7/19/2022 and 12/31/2022. Call 1-833-7-ROCKET for coverage fees, terms, and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Let's say you need a new car, so you go to a dealer, right? Wrong. You need to go to Mount Moriah Auto Sales. Why? Because why limit yourself to just one kind of car when you can choose from all kinds of cars, SUVs, and trucks? All different years, all different makes, all different models. Really good prices, too. Now, everyone says that about the money, but Mount Moriah Auto Sales proves it. They work hard to get you the deal you want, even financing. Plus, they have a huge full-service department to help you take care of your car. So many choices at Mount Moriah Auto Sales. They're almost unlimited, with new vehicles coming in every day. Now, these are really good cars and trucks and SUVs that you'll want to drive. And yes, low miles too. It's so easy. Just go to Mount Moriah Auto Sales, tell them what you want, but keep your eyes open because you might just find the car of your dreams. Mount Moriah Auto Sales makes it all possible. Go to MountMoriahAutoSales.com. Mount Moriah Auto Sales, right on the corner, right on the price, right on Mount Moriah.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
You drove it, you love it. What more do you need to know?
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
It's crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye. Hello, Haskins. It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito. So good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
What I learned today is that Calvin Austin III has cleared IR and got out on the practice field today for the Steelers. And it's a time for him, and obviously he had a Liz Frank injury that he sustained that put him on IR week 1 of the preseason. But they need a guy like him right now. They need explosion. They need someone who can run some gadgets. They need a wide receiver out there that can be trusted. So Calvin Austin, I think he's got a lot of reps with Kenny Pickett. He got him through training camp, but going to be fun to see him back out there.
I learned today that Harrison Bader had quite the summer in St. Louis for a lot of the goodbye to Yadier Molina and Albert Pujols, and then traded to the Yankees and gets to watch the home stretch of Aaron Judge's 62 home runs up close and personal. An American League record, 7th best all time, but every moment caught on live TV. And Buster Olney just breathless with every movement the Yankees make. Buster Olney, who last year in the worst prediction ever, in COVID year, worst prediction ever, said 95% baseball won't even try a season, and 100% it would be scrapped after it started. He missed badly on both.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did. What I could have done without, you mentioned this yesterday, and I didn't want to believe it. But Bobby Wagner has had a police report filed against him by the protester at the Niners game, Niners-Rams game. I didn't want it to be that way. But the truth is, apparently this individual was an activist for the Berkeley-based animal rights group Direct Action Everywhere.
Protester in Berkeley?
And was
What's next?
Shocker.
And was trying to, quote, raise awareness for a trial involving the alleged theft of pigs from a factory farm.
Okay.
How are we supposed
I'm sure
to know that?
I'm sure a great cause, but don't interrupt others while doing it.
Exactly. And why does Bobby Wagner have to pay a price for this? I really hope by the end of it, if he has to pay up money and there's a settlement, we're going to start. we might have to start that GoFundMe right now.
I think my call of that was so good, I should get a point in predictions on Friday for that. That was such a great call.
I'll give it to you.
You got it.
Thank you. The Mets, I could have done without. The Mets did not collapse. Repeat, don't say the Mets choked and Buck choked in 2022. They won, what are they doing today, 100 games, 101 games? The Braves won it. But questions about April to August Buck will come back up again next year or whenever he's on a good roll. The Mets can't lose to San Diego because then there won't be any defending Buck.
But the agenda's set, Brett. You got swept in the biggest series of the entire year. I'm not going to say they collapsed because the Braves are that good. And I think the Braves were chasing them and on their tail that entire time. And maybe
the champs won it.
They're likely the better team. But, damn. It just doesn't look good.
Mets are winning 6-0 in third, so they're going to win 101 games. They did not choke, though.
Mm-hmm. They've been solid all year. What we're looking forward to tonight, though, SMU versus UCF. I'm going to be watching this cover to cover. UCF 3-point favorites at home. This thing has been postponed. They're finally going to play it on ESPN2. And this is truly a massive test for the AAC. Who is better? Who is going to position themselves to be there in the end? I think this game tells us a lot.
I'm going to go over all these game times for playoffs this weekend. We'll do our picks tomorrow. Looking forward to that and ready for Friday at 1:07 in St. Louis. But I'm ready for Friday at 11:07 in Cleveland.
We're going to play the name game tomorrow.
We are, 3:45.
We are.
Be a good time. Do you have any test names you want to run by us real quick?
Oh, sure,
right,
if I can find them. Let's see.
Okay. I threw them on the
Yadier Molina.
Aaron Judge. Albert Pujols.
Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah, none of those guys are on there.
I got it.
Are you still listening to that podcast where they do fake games?
Oh, I couldn't go to sleep last night. I put it on last night. That's right.
Isn't that interesting?
Has
he told you about
bet
this?
on him?
Has he told you about that, by the way?
Yeah.
That's an interesting.
It's
that's a wild concept.
It's great. Oh, it really works like a charm.
So you pass out every time?
Oh, like 15 minutes.
And it's called Sleep Baseball?
Sleep Baseball.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Here's Brett, because I already asked Gabe this one. Philip Nakamura.
Seattle Mariners.
Wrong. Sleep Baseball.
Yes, you were so confident, too. Oh, gosh. The confidence is the greatest thing about it.
Now I got to go home and study.
Oh, don't study.
No, don't
study.
You can't study. Come on. Come on, off the top of the head.
We're going to keep it real.
Off the top of the dome.
Yeah.
Also, what I'm looking forward to tonight, what is going to happen with this Aaron Judge 62 ball? There's going to be a lot of people auction or trying to get that.
I heard this guy's a money manager and manages like $190 million.
That ball. I don't know. I didn't see all that.
Give him the ball.
His biggest offer or most public offer, $2 million from an auction house that they're going to give it to the Yankees to lease out, basically. So
I'd like to think I'd give it back to
I'd give it to the highest bidder.
But
it's that simple.
End of the month, you catch me, and I'm not.
That's all we have for today. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Alex Kuhn, Barrett Jones, and Chris Gordy for their contributions to the program today. For Bryant, for Brett, I'm Gabe. Enjoy your night and be safe. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Golfers, now in